Met all of you who are definitely not watching because we've just gone live. Hi. I'm here. I'm back. I'm still kicking around. I'm still doing things. God help us all. I'm not dead yet.
Working on it though. Working on it. We're gonna kill him in this though.
Oh, absolutely.
Oh, perhaps.
That's the goal.
Boy, are we gonna kill him in this.
I mean, what happened? So when Tommy ran his little we're calling it like season 2.5 because it was like 4 episodes over the course of like 4 months, or like 5 or 6 months. But like when he ran his little Deadliest Dungeon thing, which is how we found out he cannot run Deadliest Dungeon. It just didn't work for. I got up to go deal with tech, and it threw him so off. He was just like, "What are you doing? What are you getting up?" I'm like, "I'm gonna go adjust something on the camera," and he's like, "Oh, well, okay. What was I doing?" I'm like, "Oh, dude, this is this is gonna be a problem." So when Tommy was doing that, and I played Lockstep, a hobgoblin weavebreaker, who was a military strategist. So like his whole point was, he's like, if you know Brooklyn Nine-Nine, he was.
I've been rewatching so much.
He was Captain Holt, effectively.
Okay.
Gotcha.
Okay. Gotcha.
So he was incredibly like deadpan serious, but he would say the most like ridiculous nonsense.
Amazing.
And I immediately had the largest target on my head. All of the people who watched season 2 are just ready to get Tommy to take me out. And even though Richter, always the best, kept me going for about 3 or 4 getting knocked unconscious, it just wasn't enough. And just bam, 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 down I went. There was just nothing I could do. Like I had no weapons. I didn't have, like I just couldn't do anything. I was doing the best I could, just couldn't roll. Like I had disadvantage on basically every roll. I just couldn't do it. So I was immediately killed in like the first episode. Like it did not take long. So I had a massive target on my head. I expect the same thing will happen again. People like to take out the DM as a player because it doesn't happen very often.
Yeah.
So let's address what's in the chat so far. Yes, we are early. This is going to be the new Deadliest Dungeon time.
Yes.
We had just a quick backstory on why it was when it was, and what's going to change. So originally we were thinking about bringing back the crazy Sundays when we would do 9 hours of D&D / whatever back to back.
Role playing.
Yeah, TTRPG. We haven't got there yet. We're not likely to get there in the near future, partly because we're adding the game on Wednesday. But we ended up putting Deadliest Dungeon in the middle slot because we figured that's like a good slot for Deadliest Dungeon. But then when it became the only game we were running, that's like the worst slot for everybody because everybody misses dinner and like it's a huge pain. Yep. So we're moving Deadliest Dungeon up to start at 1:30 p.m. our time. That's Eastern. We are currently out of daylight savings time, so we are adjusting.
Yeah, we have to be careful about that now because we have a lot of international viewers.
If you type Eastern into any search engine, it will get it right. If you type EDT or EST, it may or may not, depending on things, but Eastern will always get it right.
Yeah, because some states are not doing daylight savings anymore. Yeah. So it's going to be interesting.
It's going to be fun.
With all of that said, so this is now going to start at 1:30 and run until normally 4:30 our time, 4:30, something in that neighborhood, maybe even a little longer some days. There is a possibility that we will be booting up a separate show after this later in the evening. That remains to be seen. We'll figure it out as we go. But this is going to be the new time frame moving forward. Changed earlier than yours. Oh yeah, really?
Oh.
That's got to be really annoying.
This is what I mean, right?
Yeah.
Like it's the more people we meet, like I mean, being in New Zealand where we were a full day ahead was like the wildest thing. I opened up my calendar and everything was just all over the place because it auto corrected. Yeah. So it was showing like my normal Saturday Sunday stuff was now skewed to like Sunday Monday, and I was just like, I can't even read this. This is ridiculous.
One of my favorite daylight. Well, it wasn't even daylight saving time. It was exclusively. It was a combination of daylight saving time. I was flying from our time zone to another time zone that didn't do daylight savings time. So it was like a 6-hour gap. And so my Apple Watch was like, you did 30 hours out of 24 hours of like standing today. And I'm like, That's a bug. I should file that. Yeah. So, anyways, clocks are back to normal for us, if you can call that normal. But there will be a stream today. There will be a stream next Sunday, and then hopefully after that we're starting the next season. But we'll see. It depends on how quickly things come together. That's my spiel. Welcome everybody in Twitch and YouTube chat.
Greetings and well met, fellow intrepid adventurers of life. We're not going to be able to do that much longer.
That's sad.
We'd like to start off by thanking everyone for joining us again for the last season. It was a very interesting experiment, I think is the right word.
Yeah.
We were trying a bunch of new things for many reasons, some of which we'll get into. And overall, I'd say like it was an enjoyable experience, but there are definitely a lot of lessons learned that we want to take going forward. So the main difference, which you all are probably aware of, is that we were swapping between two different DMs, and we had an eclectic cast of different adventurers who would pop in and out as schedules permitted. And there was some level of narrative structure to it as well. There was definitely some like ideas of, because of what just happened, you should try to make next week because we want to further that storyline. But it was back and forth depending on how things would go. So we like the idea of swapping DMs. That seemed to be kind of a fun thing. But one of the major challenges of that was having to coordinate everything. So the first thing that we're going to be doing in the next iteration or season, whatever word you want to use, of Deadliest Dungeon, is we are going to be maintaining rotating DMs, but they will always be present at every single session. Whether they're off camera or on camera, they will both be there. And one of them will not be me. I will not be DMing this season of Deadliest Dungeon because I instead, as you may know, will be DMing the Wednesday game, the more long form, and I just don't have the capacity to creatively look, you want me to kill everybody on Deadliest Dungeon, you want me to challenge the people over on Wednesday, I can do one of those things really well. I'm going to choose the Wednesday one because we have two very nice new people who are going to be taking over as the Deadliest Dungeon Masters. We have, and use your real name. Your true name.
My true name?
Your true name.
My true name?
That's right.
You mean Doomsayer Spade. Yeah, I'm really excited. I'm super pumped. I had a blast playing in Deadliest Dungeon last season with everybody, but I am excited to flip over and play as the DM instead and try and kill everybody. It'll be really awesome. I'm really excited.
Yeah.
To kill you.
That's not gonna happen.
And again, using your true name.
I am the Wither Witch, also known as Malvina, and I am new to the channel, but I have had a blast doing a test DM game, and I am very, very excited to be on for Deadliest Dungeon DMing and working together to make horrifying challenges to destroy these guys.
Nice.
Yes. Now, I am not planning to be a regular player, but I will likely pop in here and there as a surprise guest when time permits, and also when if we feel like they're getting a little these DMs are getting a little too full of themselves.
I am also going to be playing and can possibly be bribed to turn on my teammates.
Ooh, noted. Duly noted.
We'll see.
Now, it is also worth mentioning that some of the other original crew from Deadliest Dungeon, so Sam, Austin, Adam, and Tommy, will also be present, although in slightly different capacities. They will likely not be playing their traditional Deadliest Dungeon character. Tommy definitely will not be.
Yeah, and Austin also said he didn't want to, and Sam has pretty much said he didn't want to.
Well, they will not be in the show.
Oh, I thought they might guest star.
They will guest star.
Yeah.
But if they guest star, they will likely be guest starring as their Deadliest Dungeon characters.
Okay.
If they were to play more full on, they
Right.
would not be. Tommy may show up as Keymaster as a guest spot, but he will not be adventuring through the dungeon as Keymaster.
No. Beskar, I got you.
If anything, they will likely show up as sort of like they might take over the DM seat for a fun encounter with an NPC, and then, maybe do something like that. We'll talk about it. It's something that we can figure out, but I will be coming in as a guest player. I'm not sure if I want to play one of my previous characters I've done or a new character. I haven't decided yet, because I did play a character when Tommy ran a couple of Deadliest Dungeons that could be fun to bring back, but then I also could play Tharius, the villain from my season.
I'm curious what chat thinks about this. I'm a strong proponent of creating a new character for every new, especially with Deadliest Dungeons. I think it's much more fun. I mean, there is something we said for when there was like the veteran presence of like the first time, eh? So there's something we said for that.
So
but
great.
like, given the limited story arc opportunities in Deadliest Dungeon, I think it's a strong one to start new people. But I'm curious what people think.
Yeah.
I'm also a sucker for new characters.
New characters are so fun.
Tom is the exact opposite of me, where Tom likes to play his characters that he's been running for 30 years probably.
Yeah. No,
I played that for a session. We're good.
I get what you mean. A lot of my characters tend to be like, they're funny or they're entertaining for like a month, and then I kind of have run it dry.
Yeah.
And now I don't. I mean, you know what I'm talking about. And now I just don't know what to take the character anymore.
What do you
So
mean?
I'll do crazy things like jump in front of a power word kill because I'm like, I don't know, whatever.
Yeah?
Not a clue.
I don't know.
Is it?
No idea. Looks.
Is
It's
it?
got USB ports in it. It's not a phone.
It looks
it's a
kind of like a
battery.
It
power
looks like a
bank.
battery.
Battery pack.
Just a
Power
battery
bank.
So let's talk about the last couple of seasons of Deadliest Dungeon.
Yes.
Our thoughts, both good and bad. And we're also looking to you, the audience, because we want to know what you guys liked, what you didn't like, maybe some ideas that you want to be seeing going forward, and maybe you disagree with us on some of our thoughts on what did and didn't work. Season 1, obviously, was the beginning of everything. It was sort of the idea we had, which ended up being a really fun idea, which was to run a series of dungeon floors and try to kill the players as much as we could and just kind of torment them. And the idea was over time they would get so withered away that they would eventually leave the table until you had just one person left, and it would be kind of a race to see how well if they could make it to the end before they all withered away.
Just saying, maybe.
In hindsight, the sheer amount of time and energy required to do that has proven to be somewhat of a difficulty. But that one was run by Kyle and was the kickoff point. One of the things that we liked about that was the inspiration system, where you could use bits, because it was on Twitch, to get inspiration. One of the things that we didn't like was we thought the death penalties were a little too harsh. They were too immediately deteriorating, and it kind of created a spiral where, I mean, I think by
That's
the halfway point of the episodes that we have, like Gambit is basically being carried around in a cart because like he has no working legs, he's one working arm, like he can't function.
Yeah.
And it was just like, so I mean, we made the best of it. He Sam really enjoyed it. Sam will tell you, he'll be the first one to tell you that he thought it was amazing. But it was one of those like, this doesn't really work. Like eventually, it just gets too out of hand. So. When I took over for season 2, one thing I did was I adjusted the inspiration chart. I removed the fact that certain things required action economy. I didn't really care for the idea that restoring a spell slot costs 4 inspiration and an action. So I removed all the action economy and I just made it a little more fluid, streamlined it a bit. And then the death penalties were a lot less severe. They were more of something that would over time add up to be a problem. So you didn't want them, but getting one wasn't going to like ruin your character immediately, like getting disadvantage on all wisdom saves or all ranged attacks or something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. So a couple things from chat. Crafty Canuck agreed. Yes, when we do retire a character, like even Tom retiring Keymaster, Keymaster will live on in Chumps Change.
Yes,
So-
that is a good point.
So like we do always, when we retire a character from one campaign, it's not necessarily that we'll never play it again. It's that like it'll graduate onto something else.
Yeah, so the characters from the original Deadliest Dungeon are not going anywhere. we will be releasing a show we recorded a while back called Chumps Change, which is taking Keymaster, Jowdrad, Gambit, and Doverick out of the Deadliest Dungeon and putting them into Amaria, where they're dealing with all kinds of the fallout from Season 2 of Deadliest Dungeon. Because if you recall, Season 2 actually had them moving around real like places, like actual towers that had been confiscated by Tharius and repurposed. And so when they left that entire floor with a shadow apocalypse, like that happened in Amaria, in a place. So they completely plagued a building with shadows, and when like they caused the explosions in the Eltharion base, or the stuff going on in the Presence location, all of that stuff happened, and so there is fallout. There were people in the world of Amaria involved in that, and so now they're dealing with those fallout. So you will still be seeing those characters, they just won't be on a Deadliest Dungeon format. It'll be a proper long-form game, which we're going to be offsetting the Wednesday games with. So once a month, give or take, you'll be seeing an episode of Chumps Change once we've caught up with what we've already recorded.
So I'm a big fan of sort of open question lists, and by all means you two can tell me to shut up, because you are in fact running this game. So by all means tell me to shut up. But for me, the big open questions are long or short.
Yep.
Like, should it last until level 5, or should we expect it to last until level 20? Because that plays into the death thing a lot.
Yes.
And then the other thing was sort of dungeon crawl exclusively, or a little bit to what you were just describing, where it's like maybe we get plopped into the middle of a war that's going on, or something like that.
So a little
real quick, B, thank you for that.
Oh yes, thank you, B.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
Little behind the scenes for when I took over Deadliest Dungeon. Two things were, one, we wanted Tharius to be the villain because we had artwork for him that matched the other artwork. And then the second, so I had to write a story to explain how this character from Tommy's game way back, Fall of an Empire, which you can still find on the channel, when I played Tharius, and then he sort of died at the end of that show, but it was sort of an off-screen death because he fell into the water unconscious, and then everybody left. So we don't really know. So I wrote a whole story about what happened to him. And then the second thing was that we wanted it to not be some we wanted it to be a real place. We didn't want it to be like an imaginary dream-like or dimensional place where you could have weird rules. Like, we wanted it to be grounded in a place where you could actually affect the world, and it was the world itself. So that's why we had it in an academy, an underground facility, a secret base, ruin. Like, it was actual places, right? So those are the reasons why those choices were made, and they ended up actually working out really well, because it led for a lot of really interesting roleplay scenes where they're talking to people who are just as trapped as they are, but are commoners and don't have the heroic powers of adventurers.
TK, thank you. Didn't actually know it was the affiliate anniversary, but thank you.
It's really cool.
We're doing well. So I want to hear from you two. What are your thoughts on stuff?
So
Either length and stuff, or something completely different.
I'm gonna do a quick, not super spoilery, but note on surviving characters. Is we have ideas for paying homage to previous Deadliest Dungeon characters.
Yes.
And it'd be super cool to bring people back to play that character in that
homage. It would be really awesome.
It would be very fun. So we have ideas around that. It will depend on people's availability.
Obviously.
But we have thoughts. So they're not necessarily also completely gone from Deadliest Dungeon shenanigans.
Maybe like an off episode.
Yeah.
Being like
a little mini floor in between
we
stuff.
want you there for this because there's something about you and your character in there would be really awesome.
We've been discussing that.
And then lengthwise, we have so many ideas going on for like different ways to build the floors that it could go on for a while if we wanted it to.
What does chat think about that? I'm curious. Like, does chat like the hyper deadly where we all just like lose hope and give up after? I know Beskar, you do, but
some of our audience were very aware of their opinions. Others not so much.
Well, Beskar specifically wants Tom dead.
Yes.
Do you guys like it when we like hyper death and it gets like it's? I don't want to use the word slog in a negative context, but like that it's a super slog and it's super deadly, and maybe we run out of resources super early.
I think a very succinct way to summarize that would be if every encounter in the dungeon is a deadly encounter mechanically, where it's like you could easily die or lose at any of the encounters, or where it's like it's a bunch of more difficult, like medium to hard encounters, and the idea is it's an attrition. It's like by the the more and more you do, the worse and worse it gets. For season 2, my approach was basically every encounter was deadly.
Yeah.
So even like a couple of guards was a problem because they were jacked up in the CR to make them a deadly encounter.
Yeah.
Whereas in, I think, season 3, that was less of the case. It was more sporadic. It was like you might have a couple of mephits, which will blow your resources, and then you'll have like a revenant who's like, whoa, and it was kind of back and forth.
So it looks like most of chat is saying they like longer arcs. Generic, that's interesting, the ability to win the dungeon. Oh, I don't think we've ever had a winner.
That has always been a possibility. Like, technically in season 2 they won.
Yeah. Okay.
There were reasons behind the scenes why we had to end the show, and we went into that episode saying this is the finale. Like we knew it was going to be the last episode. We didn't know how it was going to work out. We didn't know if they were going to die, if they were going to win. But what ended up happening is Sam, being the crazy inventor that he is, used his magic items to create a pocket dimension expulsion. And he basically put a pocket dimension inside a pocket dimension and created a whole bunch of whatever. And what that ended up doing was it overrode the ethereal blanket that Tharius had put, creating the ritual, and that was keeping him alive and keeping the players, the characters alive. And so at that point, death was permanent. And then they stabbed Tharius with a Rennick blade.
I see.
And so they got out, they won. That was always a thing, is that I think there's a certain psychological aspect to viewing and also as a player, that you still want to be able to progress. You want there to be a chance of winning. There should be an end goal. Now, whether that end goal is a year away or something that you're slowly working towards, I do think that that's an important thing. It seems like that's kind of what people like, is they like some kind of overall development of story. We had the story for season 3, which was 2 mages were running sort of this little sick game show where they were throwing people through, but there wasn't much to it other than that. It was very much this is the concept, and then you're letting the adventurers sort of build their own interwoven things. Like Adam had the parasite from the dagger, and you had Gambit was doing his own stuff.
I mean, we missed the mark pretty substantially on season 3 in terms of character development, just because inconsistency.
Yeah.
Like, we are aware of that. There was some character development, but too many different people, too many different things, too much different style. We missed that mark. We know that, so that's something we're going to be.
Yeah, one thing we are definitely doing is we're going to scale back the number of players. It's going to be a much more consistent group that can grow and can develop together, rather than coming and going with because when Joudrad got that blood parasite, and it was like this really cool moment, and then he was gone for like 3 weeks.
Yeah.
So it's like, and then finally he came back. We got to see where that was going. As a viewer and as like even the DM, it's kind of like, I want to know where that story is going, but now I got to wait for when Adam's coming back as a player. So that is something that we are aware of and we do want to correct.
Right.
So,
who I'm assuming is Tommy on the 6 Sides of Gaming.
I would assume so.
Says, don't neglect to mention Dover cloud ruining taser.
It was a good moment. The thing is, there were lots of good moments. That wasn't the shortfall. It was the arcs. They kept getting interrupted. They kept we missed the mark.
Yeah, with the switching out and everything, it was definitely hard to keep up with it too, because then it's like...
It was more... The idea was it might be more approachable to join in midway, because you don't really have to worry about catching up on things.
Totally.
But I do think that you have to sacrifice a bit too much for that.
I mean, I think it would have been better if we had just said, if you're going to join in, you have to be here for 2 or 3 weeks in a row. And we didn't do that.
Yeah.
that would be ideal for us, since we're swapping off floors, so it might be hey, we want a group for a floor.
That's kind of what I
Commit to,
figured.
I think at bare
weeks.
minimum that would be...
Yeah,
That would
commit
be
to...
fine, yeah, absolutely.
Have you settled on switching per floor?
Yeah.
Pretty much, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay,
So it'll
so-
be me for the first floor,
And then
so that
I get
Mal
some
can
adjustment
get a little
time.
adjusted, and watch some of the other stuff, and then Mal will do floor 2, and then we'll kind of
swap
back and
off.
forth.
And I think, having all of the players commit to the entire floor is a no-brainer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
From Twitch chat, we're getting a bit of both, so high consequences, but also there's hope for making it to the end. And also, the show is called Deadliest Dungeon. There needs to bare minimum be a sense of the players are going to die. Yes, absolutely. Agreed.
So I do think if you go back to season 2, it's generally pretty harrowing. There are a couple moments, like when Dovrik just got his light gun, where he was like just eviscerating enemies, but they ran out of charges, and then they went right back to the bad time, right?
Well,
because it was. But I will say, when he did do that, pull the trigger and eviscerated those guards, I've never seen Austin that like emotively giddy before. Like he was like really, because it was such a win after just getting slammed and beaten down. It's finally he just literally pulls a trigger and poof, there they go. He was like, oh, like it made it much more visceral.
Yeah.
I think that's kind of the way we want to go. Like if you look at the treasure room in the first floor of season 2, I just put all the magic items on pedestals and left them alone. And then the players were like, yeah, we're not going to touch that. And then Adam realized one of them was Gauntlets of Ogre Power. And they were like, okay, well, and it was a slow spiral where everything went out of control because each of the traps were absolutely, crazy. And so I think that's kind of the level you want is, and something we were trying to go for season 3 was there's a shop, but you will only get money if you risk things to get the money. But most players just weren't putting in the risk to get money, so most players didn't have money to spend. The idea is like, oh, there's a chest in that room. Well, we're not going for the chest. We're going to find the path out. But that's a decision that you can make, right? Well, high risk, high reward.
All right, back to you two. I want to hear about the new season.
Okay.
So,
What?
I think I want to start with the biggest mechanical change, which would be the resurrection system.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because I think the change that we are planning to implement gives us the opportunity to really make things harrowing and at the same time be able to keep the show running long term.
Oh, yeah.
Because what we're planning to do is that it resets each floor. Pretty much.
Well, not the number of resurrections itself, so we're getting rid of like the max number as a whole. So what we started was 13, I think.
Yep.
Yeah.
That'll just be gone.
So you mean the penalties reset each floor?
The penalties for the
reset each
deaths
floor.
will reset so that we don't have to keep track or anything
Fair
like
enough.
that. And
I like that. It lets each floor be more deadly.
yeah.
Yeah, we can throw more interesting or convoluted or like deadly stuff at them. They die multiple times per floor, but make it out and they get a quote-unquote breath of fresh air going into the next.
To be clear, the emphasis on the death penalty is to make it so that death has meaning.
Yeah.
Because what we don't want is strategic deaths. Not
Yeah.
you run in there, they'll kill you, but then while you're doing that, we'll go deal with this, and then it's not a problem. We want death to matter, so having some sort of penalty, or in the case of season 3, a limited number, is the goal for that. But so yeah, seems like you guys are going back to the penalties.
We are, yes.
Yeah, penalties as opposed to, which some of them might change, so they might look different from, I believe it was season 2 that you did that last.
Season 1 and season 2 both had death penalties. Season 1's were
Way
rough.
too
They were
rough. Well, if they had reset each floor, they were probably okay.
That's correct.
Yeah.
Season 2 was designed to be a slow entropy that slowly you'd be with. Tharius was draining the life force out of the characters each time they died, and so over what was planned to be like 10 plus levels of dungeons would eventually wither you away, and it would start to become a problem.
I think we're aiming for like a sweet spot between those
I like
two.
that.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
for sure. Where it still kind of is going to make it super difficult for the players, but also so that it like affects them enough that it's gonna.
And if you just keep dying, there will come a certain point you're just
There will
dead.
come a certain
There
point.
is a point where
Fair enough. Yep.
Which even if it's like for the floor, and then it's like because the death penalties only last for the floor, you're back after for the new floor.
So then
or whatever.
I have a question.
Yes.
If the penalties only last to the end of the floor, is there? Let's assume that we're in like the last room and they only have a couple of penalties. Is that what's going to happen if the penalties get to the point where they just can't seem to complete the floor? Like, is there a permanence? Is there a like an end cap of the penalties at some point?
Oh,
like if they just keep dying?
Yeah.
for sure.
Yes.
Yes.
I
For
believe
sure.
we're currently at, like, we're thinking 6.
Maybe 5 or 6.
5 or 6
Give or
is once you die that amount of times, you are incapacitated to the point that you just die.
Per character?
Per character, I think.
And so what would
considering
happen at
that.
that point? Is that just they stay dead until the end of the floor? And so the lose condition, as it were, is if they all receive
a
6 or
TPK.
5 or whatever it is before
No.
finishing the floor.
No,
then
no,
they're
no.
out.
If they die and have to start from level 1.
That would be insane.
It's fucking
But
Deadliest Dungeon.
that would be cool. I didn't think
in
about
my
that.
head, it's they're dead.
Yeah.
In
no,
my head,
they
it,
can
like-
they can keep playing, but they have to roll a new character at level 1.
Oh, a new character.
I don't know about level 1, but they'll have to roll
No,
a new
man, it's
character.
Deadliest Dungeon. Fuck them. I say that as a player.
Throw them in on like
Throw them
we're
in
like,
at,
5 floors in and
level
like
1 character, right, let's go.
level 1
Yeah.
character, everyone's level 5. Like
Fuck it, let's go.
You're fighting high
then-
CR stuff and you just get one
you
shot.
better take a healer or a rogue.
So
One of
then
the
my
two.
question is that the lose condition, or is it more so that it's just then the penalty is like sucks to be you at that point and it just keeps going? The reason I ask is because it's important to establish the stakes. We want to know what's the win condition, what's the lose condition.
So, based on our idea we do have an idea for an overarching story and reason of why we're shoving poor adventures into a meat grinder repeatedly.
Yes.
And based on that overarching thing that we have going on, I think it just keeps going. I think somebody dies and we go pluck another adventurer
It's just
out
like,
of the world,
you know what,
toss
screw
them in
this
and
guy.
go, you're our experiment now. Keep
But
going.
that character is dead.
That character
That character would
is
probably
dead.
be dead.
There's kind of like a
No, probably.
not
Just let them. Just
Oh, for sure.
make the stakes. Like people need to be. That character's gone.
Also, if you die 6 times on a floor,
I think that makes sense.
Yeah.
If you die 6 times on a floor,
It's your own fault.
I think that's too generous. Unless the floors are pretty big, that's really generous. I'd go like 3.
For our idea, they would kind of have to be a decent size.
Oh, okay, all right,
Yeah,
all right. No,
we're-
if the floors are bigger, that's totally fair. Beskar,
see
I'm
if
not
we need to
ignoring you. We'll
adjust.
get to that in a minute.
hi Richter, by the way. But yeah, it would make sense for them to be dead. It's not really as much of a we're sucking the life force out of them every time they die, but I think it's a kind of like, oh, they're in this dimensional space and they're deteriorating every time they die, and
Oh, for
unless
sure.
they get to a reset, they deteriorate to
Yeah.
the point that they're just dead.
I think that's great. Yeah.
6 is our current number, but it is
It
might change.
It might
If the
flex.
floors are decent size, that's fine. The current, well, okay, it also depends on how deadly the encounters are and everything else. But yeah, absolutely. That I leave that to you.
There is absolutely a world where you can start with it being 2 and then 3 and then 4 or 6, then 5, then 4. Like you could tweak the
Every
numbers
floor
per
might,
floor. Every floor could just have
Yeah,
a
yeah.
different number, right?
you
It's like a
imagine?
golf course.
Throw. I mean, that would
This is
also
a par
add
three.
a
This is a
surprise.
What's the par number of deaths for me to
Yeah,
actually make
it's
it
a
through?
par 3.
It's
Don't
golf.
go
You
over
wanna
5.
you want to go under par.
Yeah.
If you go over par,
I mean,
imagine if you died.
It would
if you
add
went
the
over
element
par
of
and
surprise
par.
too if we changed it depending on what size the floor actually ends up being.
Yeah, I think that's fair. As long as you're tuning it, yeah, I think that's
And
great. Yeah.
speaking of encounters on floors, we want to make an adjustment where it's not just fight after fight after fight. We have some
Yeah.
thoughts about some
Yeah.
different win cons, different ways to escape the floors, different things where maybe you're not trying to defeat the enemy, maybe you're being pursued, maybe things are going on, maybe you have different goals. So
Yeah,
Hee-hee.
I think getting away from the Floor Guardian as a foregone conclusion is probably a good idea. Not that there can't be one on each floor, but just that it's not a clear build up to oh, okay, this is going to be the Floor Guardian next. Because inevitably, as we got closer, it would always be well, don't fucking use your spell slots, you idiot.
save them, and it's we want a situation where you're not entirely certain what you're being
Yeah.
put into, so you can't.
So one of the things I know that the players in season 2 really liked, and I really enjoyed, was in the 4th floor of season 2. They, after 4 rooms, immediately found the way out. But if you used it, they knew that there was a chance something could go wrong. And if they went to all the 4 wings and they slowly turned parts of it off, it would make it easier. So the idea was oh, we could leave right now, but we might be ripped into pieces. Maybe we go make that not happen. So they go to this and they turn that one off and they turn that one off. And then they're well, we're already halfway done. Let's just turn them all off, make it easier for ourselves. and it was more of a it was decision, but it was also more of a like experience the dungeon to finish the ending of it. You knew there was going to be a fight at the end, but you kind of had control over when it was going to happen and where it was going to go, even though there was some mysterious to it. For those of you who may have seen that episode since it's done, what they were doing was changing the battlefield. So when they turned off air, it removed all air from the battlefield. When they turned off earth, it removed all earth from the battlefield, and fire and water and so on. And if they deactivate all 4 of them, they bypass the final that mini boss and go straight to Tharius. Otherwise, they would have had to have fought a boss first with less things going on. But they also got a summon elemental for each one of those that they did without Rennick daggers, which they used a lot of, so they didn't actually get it.
B, the answer is yes, you can always donate without influencing.
Always.
Just when you donate, just say for
Just
nobody.
mention it. Just be like,
Yeah.
just cuz.
Just say for nobody, and
Or just give it to Tech.
You
Yeah,
can say for the
technomancer.
Technomancer, sure. But yeah, no, absolutely. We will still appreciate it. We will call it out. We'll do all of the things. We just won't give anybody inspiration. 100%. I want to respond to Beskar real quick. And honestly, this is as much for you two to respond as anything. But basically, cursed items that I think he's suggesting grow with the player.
Ooh.
Yeah, it says cool idea is the emphasis of various levels of cursed items for the players to help play with, rise, and reward as players have to weigh the odds of a certain item's curse versus its power. Say they find a sword that can cut through magic effects, but it is cursed to cut other magic items near you or on you, which makes said other item unusable for a certain time. They grant the user all kinds of strange and powerful abilities, albeit at the cost of a significant drawback. It's blood sport, so it's for our entertainment as well.
Yeah, I like creative cursed items.
Cursed items have been a
like
staple of Deadliest Dungeon.
Yeah.
The absolute pinnacle, in my opinion, was Season 1. Kyle cruelly invented the Identify Magnet.
That was great. That was such a good...
For those who don't know, the Identify Magnet is a little cube that as soon as you pick it up, it doesn't seem to do much, but when you cast Identify on it, you've attuned to it, and it registers as an Identify Magnet. And now whatever the spell Identify is cast within, I think it was like 30 feet of it or something.
It was a good distance.
It was a good
it
distance.
would identify
it would,
that
It
object.
would draw the identification spell to say that's an Identify Magnet. And you couldn't get rid of it. It was cursed. You couldn't chuck it. It would always reappear every time you cast Identify.
It was great.
And so no matter what they found in the dungeon, it always came back as an Identify Magnet.
Yeah.
And for sessions, they were like, we got to get rid of this thing.
Yeah.
That was the pinnacle. I think underneath that is the Book of Hyperfixation,
Hyperfixation
from Season
was
2,
good, yeah.
which was when Gambit picked up a book that made him hyper-fixated on Arcana, meaning he would do anything in his power, regardless of safety or more ability or whatever, to get more Arcana, which led to many deaths.
Yeah.
So I think, and then even in Season 3, we had Jowdrad got that Blood Dagger.
The Blood Dagger was
there
good.
was also the Berserker belts, where Jowdrad would go berserk when he would use it, and so there were different. I think cursed items are 100% a staple, and
The magnet was just disgustingly
evil
good.
magnet, yeah.
It was. I knew what it was pretty immediately, and it was very hard not to laugh at all of them really hard because they had screwed themselves so badly. Yes, and I think the idea of like more sentient, like the Blood Dagger, where it's sort of a sentient object that has its own wants and needs that are at odds with the players. I think that's a great idea.
I do like that.
I think
for sure.
This is mostly for Spade, but I think we could do some fun stuff with the theming we have and cursed items.
Oh, for sure.
Because combining
for
those
sure.
two
The
for
second
different
it was
floors.
said.
Yeah, I think we chat about that.
Oh, absolutely.
Without eyes prying.
I don't know
Looking at you up there.
I don't know if this was something that Beskar was getting at in what he commented, but I think the idea of items, cursed and not cursed, that grow with us through the dungeon is a neat idea.
Yeah.
You kind of see that in some like MMOs where you get like the set piece that increases strength as you grow, and like each floor maybe you can give something up in order to level it up or something like that. That way it's less of a crapshoot of getting equipment, because we did run into this throughout all of the Deadliest Dungeons where it's like, cool, that's a really neat axe that nobody on our team can use, or something, right?
I did like the Revenant that cursed Dovrik in
That was
Season
great.
3, which was going to basically, on every floor, he was going to be there somewhere.
Yeah.
And he was going to have to fight. So they knew that there was going to be some threat to have to deal with. So a cursed item that
That's
does
wild.
something every floor is great.
Yes.
Now wait, was that something that happened when I wasn't here?
I think
'Cause
so.
I don't remember that.
They
at all.
fought. It was when all 4 of the original were
Oh,
here.
okay, so
they
yeah,
fought
for
a Revenant,
sure.
and at the very end, he cursed Dovrik because
Yeah.
Dovrik did the killing blow, and I basically told him, I'm like, yeah, every floor now, there's gonna be a Revenant trying to kill you.
Yeah.
Which is great.
Oh boy.
Tying the cursed items directly into the Monsters Guild. Yeah, I was actually really disappointed when Paul picked up that dagger, because I was like, oh, okay, it turned into a big bad. Now we're gonna it's
Get
gonna be a
this thing.
slog, and then it's gonna turn into and it never turned back into a dagger, and I was like, oh, that's a shame.
Yeah.
Okay.
Tying the cursed items directly into the monsters killed, though, for sure is like, it depends on the monster, obviously, because certain things, absolutely, I could see us being able to tie something into that.
I mean, if
I already
if you
have an
if you
idea for one
describe
of
a
our-
dude holding a flaming sword and then it like turns to ash when he dies, it's like, okay.
I do have an idea for one of, I think, what's going to be one of our earlier floors we discussed. So we'll chat about that. But I think with
absolutely.
our theme, it doesn't even have to be a weapon that the creature is holding or something. It could be something tied to
Sure.
that creature's theming, its abilities, and stuff like
100%.
that.
Exactly.
And then just
Be cursed doors, cursed doorways, cursed, door frames, cursed
Everything's cursed.
peepholes. There's endless things you can do with, and they don't need to be hard. They don't need to be bad curses either. They could just be that you go through a door and then you don't see doors for the rest of the.
This door closes the second you try to walk through it
Yeah.
the first time.
All all doors.
Yeah.
Close
Well,
as
that's
you
if
try to
you
walk
are
through it.
cursed. If
Yeah,
it's a
right.
cursed door,
Sure,
then that's what it would do. Yeah.
slams
Yeah.
you in the face.
Not every monster needs or should become. No, I agree.
No,
No,
not
of
at
course
all.
not. Yeah.
All doors are cursed if you roll badly. Yeah.
That's true.
Curses.
Yeah, cursed
Yes.
curses. Yeah.
But I do think that as a player, one of the main ways. So one thing I didn't like about the most recent series of Deadliest Dungeon, and I think this happened to some degree in all of the seasons, is it was hard to differentiate between just items that you would pick up and items that came from encounters. I think every item should come from an encounter. That doesn't mean it needs to be cursed. That doesn't mean it needs to come from a creature. But like, it could be a healing potion sitting in a trap.
Yeah.
If you can disarm the trap, you get the healing potion. If you don't disarm the trap, it hurts you and destroys the healing potion.
Yeah.
Simple things like that. Like that, I think that lends to the Deadliest Dungeon portion. Because one of the things that I think Kyle's original Deadliest Dungeon got right was everybody spawned in with nothing.
Yeah, I did the same thing.
Yeah, and
Which
like
will,
literally
it'll stay the
nothing.
same for this one. Nobody will have anything.
Everything was a hard fought one. I think that is something that Kyle got absolutely right. The death penalties were too much, but the fighting tooth and nail for a simple dagger, I thought was amazing as a viewer.
Yeah.
For sure.
On that note, then, how do you feel about accessing a shop later on?
I think shops are fine. It's just that I think shops should be, as a player, primarily a way to get rid of stuff you don't necessarily need and get new stuff in its
Yes.
place.
So the reason I bring that up is because this is actually just a game design problem in general across all games. When you start a game off and you have nothing and you're like, oh my god, I found a dagger, or it's oh my god, like Skyrim, for example, right? It's like, oh, everything you find is incredible, and then like cut to 2 months later, you're like, friggin' draconic play, whatever. It gets to a point where it's like, none of this matters anymore, and I think that's just going to happen.
Yes.
The point is that as soon as the shop gets introduced, you've basically had that point reached. So the question is, generally speaking, it's usually only the first floor where players are screwed. I didn't introduce a shop in mine until the 3rd floor. Technically, it was on the 2nd floor, but they didn't find it. So like, by that point, when they're level 3, I was like, we've reached a power level point where I don't mind them having better equipment. But
strictly as a player, from a player's perspective alone, I would make it something that we can summon on a cooldown. We can just like mid-floor if we want to
Yeah.
summon
That's
in
not a
the
bad
trader.
idea.
We
That's
can be
cool.
like,
I don't
hey
hate
trader,
that.
come and.
I don't hate
But then
that.
we can't do it again for.
Yeah, once per floor.
Once per floor.
Sure.
Could be a cool one.
I had an idea where, like, especially if you want to do more cursed items, rather than the shop being items and stuff they can buy, have them almost like have to trade items for healing a death penalty.
So
Sure.
I experimented with that with B, the benevolent banshee, one of the shopkeepers in season 3. She would do. You could get a card reading. Each card had a specific effect associated to it, and then you got to hold on to that one use effect, was something
Okay.
you could buy, rather than gear.
Yeah.
And that's something like an additional use of a reaction or an additional whatever, something small that you could do that could come in handy at some point. I think those are great. I was just going to say, I wonder if summoning the shop once per floor is equivalent or less or better than just having a shop between floors.
So I think the reason it would feel better from a player perspective is if we do get to that point where it's like, oh God, how are we going to get through this? It gives us a psychological lever to pull, even if it doesn't help us in any way,
Gives you
shape,
a
or
break.
form. We're like, fuck it, shop time. We need a
Right.
reset. We need to. Maybe we can swap that rope for a healing note or something. Like, I don't know. Something.
Yeah.
Something
And
about
then
that'd be cool.
especially since items have a cost associated with them, like you just keep stacking them on until you
yeah.
reach the cost
Yeah.
threshold that you need to reach, and then you get all of those
Yeah,
items.
like it
that
should
are
all be
gone
store
and-
credit. Like I would say no gold should enter the dungeon at
No,
all.
I think I think it's
preferably.
more fun if it's gear.
And
Yeah.
like trade-offs.
Trade-off.
And like
Maybe you're like 3 gold short of the thing you need, and you need the thing you want,
And
and,
it's
you
like,
need
okay,
to find
cool.
like
Swap it.
something
And I
to
can
sacrifice.
trade my pinky finger for it.
Well, so how do we feel about? Because again, I don't know how much of season 2 you know, but
Real quick before you
Yeah.
say that, one of the things that I want to say to Beskar, because he did say wacky curses for the lols and the trolling, I would highly recommend for you two to do role-playing curses. So like, you're cursed, you can't use the letter E for the next 5 minutes.
You take
You
1
can
damage
only
every
speak-
time you say a
you
word
can
with the
only
letter E.
speak when
rhymes.
someone else is talking, and you
Right.
must do so loudly.
Yes.
That's a curse
that
on the
could be
tech
good.
people.
That could be good.
No, that
don't-
was great.
Damage your that was fun. They don't damage your character, but they're fun for the player, they're fun for the audience, and you can throw those around way more easily.
You can only say the
for
first
sure.
3 words of every sentence, and then
Yeah,
you must
right.
end your sentence into thought.
Right. Anyways, continue with what you were saying.
One of the things I did in season 2, which was an interesting idea that I think kind of worked, was the mycelium market. You had an alternative form of currency. Well, so one,
Corpses.
you had to find the shop on each floor. It
Right.
wasn't something that you were automatically
That
taken
works.
to, right? You weren't taken to it between floors. You had to find it. In the third floor, it was welcome to my shop. It was an introduction of like, you found me. I'm the shop. The shopkeeper can be killed. If you lure enemies into that room, they will kill the shopkeeper, and there he goes. And the room was not safe to rest in. It was an unsafe room to rest in because it had poisonous spores in it that if you stayed for longer than a minute, it would kill
Right.
you or whatever. But you could get spores from him, which you could then sprinkle onto corpses of things that were like humanoid-ish, like not like elementals. or
cart
whatever,
it
but-
away for-
and it would scuttle away, and that would grant you 50 gold worth of value. And so you could effectively, for every enemy that wasn't an outsider that you killed, you got basically the price of a healing potion.
Yeah.
What that meant, the goal behind that was to say like, yeah, maybe you do want to fight these guys because you could, but then what ended up happening was they'd like engage in combat and they'd use like 3 healing potions, and then they would scuttle these 3 bodies away, and it's like, that's a net neutral.
Yeah.
Right? So
Yeah.
it ended up not always being worth it, but when they could quietly, stealthily take a guy out,
Yeah.
they're like, we just got a potion, guys. You know, it was like an exciting thing they could do. So finding in the 4th floor, the shop actually tried to kill them at first because they were intruders and they didn't know who they were. So they were all scared, and they actually like flamethrowed the place, and like then they had to renegotiate. Like, we're sorry, we didn't know it was you, and it's something they had to figure out to then get access to it. And as the dungeon changed, the shop got worse or better depending on what they were doing. And so it was a living part of the dungeon that they had to interact with. Now it did mean that they could go back to the shop at any point on the floor. It wasn't a one-time thing, though we could interact both ideas and say you have to find the shop, and then when you find him, you get one use of him and then he teleports away or something. What I liked about finding it was that it encouraged exploration.
Yep.
You wouldn't just beeline it to the exit because you're like, well, even if we get to the next floor, we still want to buy stuff. We want to find the shop. So maybe let's take our time. Let's check the rooms, and that opens the that allows the players to open more doors, as it were, of the dungeon. So there is that too.
B, thank you again. Says love the Banshee. Yeah, Crafty Connect, absolutely.
I was about to say,
yeah.
yeah.
Well, go ahead.
Oh no,
I
I was also going to read it. So
sentient items are great.
Love it.
Yes.
And I think you can also use those for trolling. Like, it will occasionally shout at the top of its lungs for no particular reason.
Hey, over here!
Like Foley's hat. I was going to make Foley's hat when I was building out Foley's hat. I was going to make it just chime in at the least opportune times. And then whether the party acknowledged that happened, Foley would acknowledge it in character. So even if they were like, no, canonically the hat didn't talk, I'd be like, but I did. So those guys around the corner, they just found out that we're here. So I like, and I know Sam feels this way. I know he's not going to be a main player in this, but Sam and I have talked about this a little bit, and we don't utilize role playing as much as we should when we're like screwing with players.
yeah, for sure.
Yeah, so that's kind of why I brought up the Tome of Hyperfixation.
Yeah.
Because that's what that was.
It was great.
That was a role play cursed item that as soon as the rest of the group got a chance, they ripped it out of his hand and threw it into the vortex. He's like, what the hell? They're like, you were cursed. Terribly cursed.
Not to rush you, I'm sure you read this as well, but
I did,
inspiration is definitely something people are going to want to talk about. We are going to be streaming next weekend as well, by the way,
Yes.
so if we don't
Yeah,
cover
it might
something
not be like
We're getting-
starting the new season.
Yeah,
Probably
we're
not.
going to take about a
not.
2-week lead to kind of get everything prepped, and probably kick off around. Probably both shows roughly on the same
probably
week.
pretty much, yeah. We will not be starting Deadliest Dungeon next week. I can pretty much guarantee that.
Oh, for sure. No.
No.
I was either gonna say like, I can come in, I can build the map for the first floor. You can come in, we can kind of just hang out and chat.
Yeah, we
and
can chat.
whatnot.
We can build the first floor. We can like.
kind of figure that out. Inspiration system wise, though, we are
Yes.
keeping the same one that Devin made.
Yes.
That's been on up in the corner for a little while. It's not there right now.
It will
But
be eventually.
it will be when we start
And-
again. Just to.
Yeah.
I didn't think there was anything to change about it.
No, and the one use per turn keeps it from being.
And we will
over-
keep that. I don't know if it, because I don't think we even said that we did it, but like partway through last season instead
we
of it.
did. We addressed. Yeah,
We
did.
mentioned
Okay.
it. One of the things that we have not done well, and we're going to get better at this for all of our games, is more transparency of how things work to the audience, to you. There will be a write-up somewhere that explains the inspiration system in detail on a website
Yeah.
that you can go and look at.
Yeah, and it'll have the actual full-fleshed chart, not the
Exactly.
abbreviated one that you find on the screen.
And it will explain the whole, like, players can pool resources under these
Yeah.
circuit. Like, if you're unconscious, you can't, or maybe you can, or whatever. That's
Yeah.
up to you guys to decide.
Sam was definitely a proponent of the please describe how you are getting involved to improve the situation.
I think
Please,
that's key.
Expending inspiration should have some narrative quality
Yeah.
to it.
Yeah.
And if you are incapacitated, you cannot,
cannot
then
do that.
share your inspiration or out of the room or something like that.
I would say I agree with that. Like, if you're incapacitated, if you're out of eyesight, if you don't know it's happening, then
Yeah.
you can't use your inspiration on it.
Yeah, I mean, that's
that
how
just
I
makes-
play
that just makes sense
personally
in my brain.
anyways.
That helps
Yeah.
with, because there's been some discussion back and forth about, like, do we just make a player pool or do we keep it per player? We've decided to keep it per player because that people like rooting for specific characters, but and I like that. But I think having that rule helps make that matter because it's like, well, if you give all your inspiration to one guy
And
he's
they're
not in the
just not
room,
there.
then yeah,
Or they're the one that gets knocked out.
right.
Then,
Yeah.
Then no one else can help them. Yeah.
Swahili says, don't offer everything and anything in shops.
That's
which,
how you get the cursed shopping episode, which
Yeah.
we did have that a little bit
Yeah,
after
we
the
did.
Yeah,
first.
at best, I would say like anything in the player's handbook is available.
I wouldn't even go that far.
but-
The DM knows what we need.
That's fair.
Yeah.
I think it's also more
Raise
fun
player
to have
inspo.
the effects instead of just items, and have items be stuff that you can risk to get in.
Well, because the question is
But-
like, does gold matter, right? Like, if
Yeah.
you find a pile of gold, is that going to be useful if there's no real thing to spend it on?
Yeah.
If you want a sword, but you just can't seem to find a sword, it's like, oh, I'll just buy a sword then, right? I think everything in the player's handbook may be a bit much. In terms of Season 2, that was not the case. Season 2, the Mycelium Marketplace sold potions. That's
Yeah.
what they sold.
Yeah.
If you wanted a sword, they were like, yeah, we don't have those here, man. Go kill somebody with a sword. Like,
Yeah,
Whereas it was Season 3, we offered everything because of the rotating group of players. It was kind of necessary because the loot distribution just wasn't there. So if you wanted to do something like the Mycelium Market, where it's like we sell specific things, then I had thought it was great to sell reuse or one-time use items, because like if you're going to spend gold, you're spending it on potions, on scrolls, on things that once used are gone. You're not buying permanent like full plate mail. If you want full plate mail, kill a guy wearing full plate mail and take it.
Yeah. Or, you enter like a cursed armory, you have to like figure out how to get what you want out of
Something
it.
like that. You have to obtain it through other means. So a shop
prefer
that
that.
only sells a very specific set of things is great.
Yeah, I agree. Just a couple of quick things. Tom doesn't like traffic.
But he's almost here.
I don't think that's groundbreaking information, but it's worth
But thank you,
mentioning.
Tom.
It was particularly bad.
Yeah.
today.
So yeah, generic. Yes, the Boons Bar is a perfect example of how.
Which we are not going to be doing this season.
Yeah.
Because we found that it just wasn't being used.
Well, you know what? We can always
So-
reintroduce it if people want us to.
Yeah,
Right.
absolutely.
Do you have a plan for using dungeon augments at all, or do you think that we'll just kind of put that on the?
Might put it
set
on
it
the
aside.
put it on the back burner.
Okay.
If we find that we're missing it or need to add it in later, we can always add it in later.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
And then from Beskar, raise player inspo. I assume you were referring to the price of the item.
Yeah, I think he's saying
unlocks?
that like you can buy a greatsword, but it's like 5 times the cost.
Well, that was his last message. Yeah, which I mean, honestly, I think that is entirely up to you two, and B, my stance as a player would be, just don't even give us the option. Like, you know what we need and what we don't. You know, make sure it's doable. But if we're like, I need a great sword, and you're like, no, you don't, then just don't put it in the fucking shop.
no, you fucking don't. Hold on now.
Controlling what the shop sells, I think is.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's my stance as a player.
Raised player inspo, then the reason Tommy lives so long. I'm not sure what he means.
I think he meant the cost, but I'm not sure.
the cost.
the cost?
I like the costs. I
So-
think they're pretty player fair.
Here's the
'cause-
behind the scenes on the costs. The original inspiration chart was created with the concept that we will likely only be getting between 5 to 10 inspiration per player
Certain people
at a general regular interval. And for the most part, that assumption was correct.
Yeah.
There are a couple of instances where that gets really skewed, at which point, yes, it theoretically should be larger. The problem is, like, on a week, so for Beskar specifically, Beskar, if you're not in the stream, the numbers work fine. Everything
love that you're
seems to have
here,
a very
however.
reasonable cost.
we love you.
We do love you. We do love you. This is by no means any kind of jab or poke. I'm just saying, like, the
balancing
cost
wasn't
of inspiration was not an issue until the numbers of inspiration started climbing.
More generally, it is something that we've always known. As the channel grows and we get more people and more interaction and more donations, it is a thing that will need to change. Because if, not that we're there, but if we were as big as Critical Role and getting the kind of donations that channel gets, there's no way that spending one to reroll a dice would be. Raise player inspo was regarding to the viewer's engagement with transparency. I didn't word that well. Oh, I see.
I think he means
you mean
the
like
cost
when we're
per inspiration,
Well,
i.e.
that, or maybe just like making it more obvious when we're doing and what we're doing. I don't know. I think Tom was talking. I think he meant to say spec, like SPEC, which was one of the early channels donators who dropped a lot of inspiration. Do let us know in general what you want to see changed in terms of
Yes.
inspiration, calling out.
Absolutely.
I apologize for nothing, even the deaths. You don't have anything to
Thank you, Beskar.
apologize for, Beskar. We love you. But what I was saying was, like, we know that at some point the balance for inspiration is going to be a problem. We're keeping an eye on it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The amount of something costing may change in the future.
For sure.
As things go. Currently, it seems fine.
But we will have a website where we will announce those.
That's right.
changes.
Yeah, it'll be you'll be knowing ahead.
Yeah.
You'll be knowing when it's happening.
Welcome, Razor.
So are you
Yes.
saying, Beskar, are you saying regarding viewers' engagement with transparency, is that like, are you talking about knowing where the inspiration is coming from? Are you saying being clear about when it's being spent, or
Yeah, let us know.
yeah, if you could clarify that a little bit more, we wanna.
Yeah,
and
absolutely.
by the way, we can also talk about all of these things on Discord.
Absolutely, this is just
Yeah.
sort of the open.
If you want to
Space
just
for it.
have a longer chat about inspo, we can do that
Absolutely.
on Discord.
In the meantime,
Sorry, yes,
for
you two
that,
go ahead.
I was gonna say we also talked about keeping the short rest limit that we had from last season
Yes.
as well.
Short
Keeping it to maybe
rest
2
3?
or 3
Yeah.
per floor.
What about
obvious-
long rests? Any?
Maybe to be determined.
Okay.
To be determined, also based on floor length, because again, our different varying ideas for
That's
floors.
fair.
Some may be longer, some may
Some,
be
yeah,
So-
for sure.
So, just something to keep in mind. So for season 1, I don't think Kyle allowed them to rest at any point, but it was like he was deadly. Like at some point,
Well, like the fog
they're
that would turn
wandering-
you inside out and
Yeah,
shit.
there was
Yeah.
like there were.
Yeah, there was a floor that would, like, if you waited too long, the gas would just kill you.
Oh, I love
Yeah, there
turn
were-
you inside out is great.
there
Well,
were-
I don't know if it actually
There
turned you
were a
out.
lot of hazards. There were a lot of wandering monsters. In
Yeah.
season 2, because these were like living, breathing facilities the players were going through, patrols were constant. So what I did is any rest, I made a luck roll. If I succeeded the luck roll, a wandering encounter would show up, and so and the players are aware of this. So like, okay, for a short rest, I roll once. 50-50 shot, and you're going to get a rest. For any long rest, I was rolling 8 times. And in the first floor, they tried to take a long rest, and there were 2 separate encounters that they had to make checks to avoid. They succeeded those checks and were able to avoid it. But from that point onward, it was established. If you want a long rest, it's going to be hard. You're going to have to really be careful about it. Whereas in season 3, we were like, no long rests per floor and 2 short rests only. By no means do you guys need to go forward with that. If you want to do a more narrative-driven, like, kind of setup, you could just implement that system where it's like you can rest, but there's a risk to it.
And you can do both.
Yep.
Absolutely.
Yeah. With the theme we're going with, our floors may vary wildly.
Absolutely,
in
which we won't
mechanic
reveal
and
it
structure.
until obviously like the first floor, I think,
Yeah.
and then
or
once,
even or we might not reveal it and wait for people to pick it up, because I think you'll pick it up by 2 or 3 floors.
you
pretty
might
easily.
even pick it up on the first floor. Who knows?
Well, yeah.
The other thing is, with the addition of the role-playing channels and everything else that we're doing, we will do something with Deadliest Dungeon. I'm not sure exactly what form that will take, but we can sort of...
Waiting room between floors.
Kind of, yeah. I don't know, we'll
You're
figure
just
it out.
like some commoners are in there, like, what is going on?
Yeah, we'll figure it out, but we'll
Like
do
the waiting room in
something.
Beetlejuice.
And so there's a good opportunity there to
Absolutely.
if people are confused or want more detail or anything else. I'm making a point of I will keep a website up to date with stuff.
Yeah.
But for individual floor changes, we'll probably put those in some sort of a role playing channel. on
So,
Discord.
Beskar, are you mainly referring to the fact that like we didn't know what the augments were, or what the boons were, like not knowing what they were, or not understanding that, like how to engage with that part of the show?
I think, well, he's basically said he was agreeing with what we were saying. I think
Not
in
doing it.
general, we did not do as good a job as we could have explaining what inspiration was doing in general. Like the augments, we didn't have it on screen when they were active, what they were doing, et cetera, et cetera.
That's true,
Like,
yeah.
And inspiration, like we really need to, right now I've got it set up, and this is partly just on me, but we need to do a better job. I would like to, now that I know we are moving forward with the current inspiration system, I would like
Yes.
to put up little like animations or something that's like, I just spent 5 for an instant succeed. So like everybody can see on screen, even if they're not paying full attention to the audio or it gets jumbled or anything else, it says we can move on. To be fair, we're not talking about this, we're talking about this not necessarily exclusively because you brought it up. This has been an ongoing discussion internally.
Yeah, absolutely. Like,
we talk about inspiration all the time because
Constant.
honestly, we want to make sure that everybody feels that their donations and their influence and everything else is appreciated and
is
put to
helping
good use.
affecting
Affecting the
kind of
game the
stuff.
way that you intend
Yeah,
to.
absolutely.
If we seem to be beating a dead horse, it's because we beat this dead horse
Every
all the
day.
time.
I think
every day.
I think I like that idea. I think we have the ability on the stream decks rather than
We
just
do.
having a +1 and -1.
Yeah,
we just
we-
set each of the things
We do.
and then
we
just
absolutely do,
set
and
that
it's
up.
something that I should have done a while ago. So
That's a fair point.
we will do that.
On the topic of the floors again,
Yeah.
I don't know how you feel about it, but I think once kind of people catch on to what the kind of theming of the floors kind of is going forward,
Taking suggestions.
I would love to see what you guys would like to see when it comes to that.
Considering our overarching idea, I think
Considering
that'd
the
be really
overarching
fun.
idea, I feel like it would be really fun to get like you guys a little involved in helping us with
We
that
could make that also
aspect.
a members chat and have people
I
like
100%
throw
think
ideas
that's
at
the
And
way
us.
I
to do
think
it.
it would
like,
just be really awesome to hear what you guys would want to see. Like, especially when it becomes a little more obvious what the floors
what it is,
are.
which we're super excited for you
I'm
guys to
so
catch on.
excited.
I'm
'Cause
excited
it's-
too.
And the players to catch on, like it's gonna
Players
be.
to catch on, you guys to catch on at home. Like, this is
It'll
going
be
to
a
be-
very
That sounds like
fun
a topic.
time.
phenomenal.
Finally got to
It's
that.
Tommy.
made
Look
it.
who it is.
Yeah, no, I think we will do some stuff with role-playing members, chat stuff on Discord, for sure.
And
Oh,
since
for
we're
sure.
planning to go longer, it can kind of pick up as we kind of go along.
Oh, for sure. And it would be awesome, like,
I would
especially
love that.
because our takes on it might be different than when you give us what you would want to see and your ideas. Ours might be different.
Yeah.
Depending on, like, if we use it, might be a little fun to see, kind of like, and then hear from you guys afterwards, obviously, and be like, oh, I never would have thought of that, or
Yeah.
like that kind of
My
stuff.
sweater.
I like your
Oh,
sweater.
fantastic.
Deadliest-
Yes.
brand.
The Deadliest Dungeon.
It is very on brand.
You
Bound to
are
find something.
you are live, and we apologize. I muted the wrong one momentarily, so you probably did get a lot of wrestling. But you know what? We're here.
Hello, Tommy.
Hello.
Sir.
Welcome.
Man, trying to get through the traffic while listening to you guys chatting about stuff. I'm like yelling at the screen, being like, "Yeah, I like that." I'm not on stream,
traffic.
and I can't type, so I had to put voice activation to say something. But when doing so, I can't hear what you're saying anymore. So I'm just like, this is the worst situation of all worlds. But
It's
I'm here.
okay. What were you liking though? Now that you're here,
A lot of stuff. When you were talking about all the different dungeons, the previous seasons, I'm just like, why is nobody mentioning season 2.5?
I talked about it. I talked about it briefly at the very, very beginning.
I tried running a season
Yeah.
3. It got 3 episodes in, and then it ended. TPK? No, they got out. They got the Necronomicon pages and got out. But there was curses there.
Yeah.
Yeah, they had curses. The curses that I gave them.
The Paul's curse was pretty rough.
Yeah, I gave them curses. I think I've got notes on it here because I had them on my phone.
Oh, those hallucinations from season 3 on the second floor. I really liked those.
Those were good.
Yeah.
That's another example. Do you remember those? Remember I gave
When
you that?
Paul thought he could fly
Yeah.
and was like trying to do all these like
no!
super acrobatic things.
That as a roleplay, like
no.
just,
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
love that.
It was a D100 roll, and then I had little slips for each response.
I
and I
love
would hand
it.
it
You
to
would
the
sit
player.
here and actively cut it out. You're like, what are you doing?
And so it was like,
Just add the-
so each of them would get a little slip of paper that only they knew, and it changed the way they had to role play.
I actually had something like that for Dread because I was implementing an insanity mechanic into Dread, where they would pull like a kind of like thing for like, oh, you get extremely aggressive, or you like start like derealization and stuff that I was going to like slip to players and have them change how they roleplay based on that. I think that's a really fun.
Which is an interesting question that I have for the chat, and this is probably something that you might need to think on. But I'm curious, when stuff like that happens, would you rather, as a viewer, know what's happening, or do you like being in the dark and figuring it out along with the table? And the answer is probably going to be some people yes, some people no.
To answer Vescar's question, you can spend 4 inspiration to do do it's very
I was
rarely
about to
done.
say.
Yeah. I think we need to also, when we do settle on the player rosters for each floor, I think we need to go over it in more detail with everybody, because I think a lot of people didn't actually fully understand that they could do that.
Yeah, that's fair.
Like, I think we had players, including myself in some cases, that just didn't actually know what we could do with inspiration. So,
Yeah.
The curses I
Keep it
had
secret, Rachel
were
says. Yeah,
the
fair.
curses I had were based on wisdom saves, based on what they touched and what they did, and the curses lasted. I can't remember if they lasted until they died. Once they died,
I
the
think
curse.
that was
yeah,
the
that's
case,
right.
yeah.
Once they died, the curse reset, but they didn't know what the curse was. Once they figured it out, they knew how to navigate it.
mitigate
but
it, yeah.
One of them was if you have to run in a straight line, like compulsion, you had to run in a straight line to the nearest anchor point, which was a wall. So Paul figured that out when he looked down the hallway, ran down the hallway into the wall, and then was like, crap, and then turned around to look back and then ran back down the hallway again and just kept zigzagging back and forth down the hallway.
It took him about 3 times longer than the rest of us at the table.
Yeah, everyone else figured
Kinda
it out.
funny.
So then he realized when he didn't want to run anywhere, he would just like trace a wall and follow a wall with his eyes, and he had to do that for a long time, and that hurt him real bad. Jenna's curse was she couldn't articulate turning a knob. So what that meant is any dial or knob or door handle she couldn't open. So she just could never open doors.
That's fun.
Yep.
Because she wasn't allowed to rotate the term was rotation, but it meant that she couldn't activate any levers, doors, buttons, or switches.
That's fun.
And that was her curse.
It's actually, we've got more of a consensus than I expected. Pretty much everybody says don't tell them, let them figure it out with the party.
Awesome.
That works.
yeah.
That saves
Yes!
that
That's
also
way
saves
easier.
Yeah, that saves us attack. Like, that saves
Honestly,
us so much
though,
trouble.
that makes me super excited because then it's like, because I still haven't picked what I'm doing for the first floor.
Yeah, we need to talk about
That
that.
being
I need to
said,
figure that out. I feel like it should be.
But also then you get to figure it out with the players as they're figuring it out, or you figure it out first and then you're screaming at your screen.
We got a chunk.
And
do
either
think-
way, that's fun.
Welcome Atomic Comics.
I do think
I do like that.
the dice cam for death rolls.
Yes.
Oh, 1,000%.
Yeah, when Kyle had it was great.
There will be a dice. I am figuring that out. It probably won't be the highest quality because it's just going to be one of the handy cams, but there will be a DM dice cam.
Do you know what's interesting about that? Sorry, go ahead.
Sorry, it's okay. Just back on the quick thing about like players not necessarily like in the heat of battle knowing their inspiration list. We could just sticky note it to the back of the DM screen or something.
There's a print off.
There's a print
Yeah,
off? Okay.
so that's less the issue than I think we just need to go through it with everybody and just be like, this is what they all mean, like this is why you would use them. Because I think in the heat of the moment, people just default to what they know.
Okay. Checks out. Yeah, we can figure that out. Anyway.
What the hell was I going to say?
While you figure that out, Crafty Canuck said, "Surprised you're claustrophobic now. It would be a horrible yet funny curse."
100%. Yeah, I'm a huge fan of like more role
That
That
playing.
was one of the things on the death chart that I designed was trauma, which was that you now have a
death
fear of the
penalties,
thing
yep.
that just killed you.
Yeah.
So for Dovrik, he died by falling.
Yeah.
So now whenever he was at heights, he had to roll a wisdom save to see if he would get frightened or not.
You remember?
I remember
what it was.
now. Sam, when we were in New Zealand, we were watching Deadliest Dungeon
Yes,
from
season
season
one.
1 again because we are collecting the information from all the seasons to create the Deadliest Dungeon book, so that you guys can run your own you can run those dungeons for your players at home. That's one of our next products after Maria, Evil Dead 2, and Thundercats have been delivered. We're gonna launch the Deadliest Dungeon.
So excited.
That's really
That is
fun.
So Sam and Austin are continuing to go through it, but all of us in New Zealand went through about 7 episodes of the first season to literally document the entire difficulty level, and then so we can adjust it to create the proper dungeon for you to run as a DM. In doing so, what made it funny in doing so is that we were watching. There was a dice cam for Kyle.
Yes.
We never saw those
Yeah.
rolls while we played.
Yeah.
Right? So while watching the show again, we were able to see what those rolls actually were and how Kyle and we reacted to it. When he rolled, he goes, "That's a roll." And he was really good at bluffing it because he'd say, "That's a roll" every time. And we'd be like, "It must have been good." But it'd be like a 1.
Yeah.
And so then when we push our luck, which is how I think Dovrik died the first time and was the first death, I think, was he pushed his luck. He suspected it wasn't a bad roll, and it was actually a 1, and that's how he ended up dying, because he had the option to change the roll and didn't. And also our inspiration system back then, you were allowed to use the inspiration to change your death roll as well,
Yeah.
which we took away.
I don't think we need that. Yeah.
Which is the only reason why the Keymaster's alive, because in like episode 3, I was basically one death roll away from dying, and I used inspiration to change the death roll to a 20, so that way I succeeded as opposed to dying, and that gave me enough time to get back up. Because if we didn't have that rule again, it would have been a 50-50 roll to kill me, and this happened many times. But die.
Yeah, honestly, I just apologize to the audience because the DM cam is something that I could have set up ages ago for the dice rolls, and I just never did because I kept not thinking of it. So you have my apologies for that. There will be one for all games going forward. I'm going to set it up next week, so it will be there for every game going forward. Whether or not we remember to always switch to it, we'll get there.
For death rolls, I think
death rolls will be no problem.
Yeah.
And I mean, you'll have a control.
The players aren't as not to diminish the players, but their rules aren't as important.
The only thing I want to do for the players is eventually I want to make automated dice cams that auto switch when they crit or fail.
Yeah,
Because I think that's fun, because that way you get to see the roll. Basically, without going too deep into this, it'll be a thing that does an instant replay of the roll if it's a crit or a fail. It requires some coding and everything else, but I'm going to get it working eventually, just so that you can kind of like, when we go, oh, you'll see why. But that's like way lower on than you guys being able to see his rolls, or her rolls in this case.
One of the reasons why I rushed to get here to get onto the stream is because I think I offer a unique perspective going into the next season, even though I will be guesting. But my guesting will be a new character. Keymaster, as you know, if you don't know, if you've watched this and you don't know, Keymaster for the Deadliest Dungeon thematics is retired. I will not put him in a Deadliest Dungeon again. Strangely enough, I won't, and I'll tell you why.
You guys are talking about a plot armor situation.
Okay, I'll tell you why I won't. I cannot handle the anxiety of being in the Deadliest Dungeon
That's valid.
and dying
haven't thought about it.
ridiculously. Like he's got to die. Like there's been a couple occasions where I'm like, this would be a good time to put myself into sacrifice. And I've done this several times, and every time I roll in that 20.
Basically, it started to become kind of a running joke that the Floor Guardian fight against Tharius would just be watching everybody die one by one until it was just him and Keymaster, and then somehow...
Like there's a short that you've put out that that it's literally we're debating forever, but he gets it down to a minute. But that was it was like 10 minutes. We were discussing it out of character, like, oh, what the hell do I do here? Like, there's no angle out of this. I'm dead. And then it's just like, well, I guess I should just, I had a lot of strategic ideas that might have kept me alive for another round to maybe get the characters back up. But it was such a gamble. I'm like, you know what? It's a good time to go. I said, that's it. This is how it is. I'm just going to go up and give it all I got. 20. I actually physically grabbed the camera and slammed it into the screen and took it offline. I physically slammed the camera to be able to show people that there was a 20, and then the damage I rolled was right on point.
It was.
And killed Tharius.
Right to the number.
You should be fine.
But what happened?
Hold on, I got a phone call, and I don't normally get phone calls.
Oh no.
I think they were discussing Keymaster coming back as a guest appearance as an NPC.
We have thoughts. We have thoughts.
We think original might come back as NPCs occasionally to like
NPCs or drop-ins, because we want to do a homage to some of the old Deadliest Dungeon characters as some floors. Yeah. We have an idea for Keymaster that we'll chat with you off stream.
Permanent Death Ward.
It's more fun than that.
For those of you excited about watching, or I guess if you want to see more examples of the horseshoe that seems to be jammed upside Tommy's innermost crevices, watch Chumps Change when it comes out.
Where
there is no respawning.
The dragon would have been worthy for sure, and Racer was very close to killing Keymaster.
Well, we did talk about the very first episode. Austin was saying that the very first episode of Deadliest Dungeon, which we don't have recorded, no, it's the second episode, which is the first episode you can watch online. It's the only one without Cray. All the characters had to die by that prismatic dragon.
Yeah.
But you never saw my character die. Like he got knocked out, and then Kyle faded to black, and then we all woke up level 1. So it's assumed that he was killed. Yeah. But was this Shakespearean law?
Unless you see it happen, the character is not dead.
He's never died on screen.
It's also horror movie law.
You're right.
Yeah.
You're coming from miles away.
Yeah, you are the Keymaster.
That's right.
It's not really keys though.
You're the jingle master.
Trinket master.
And yes, Beskar, I must pay you back by slapping Tom immediately
What?
for not having the DM camera set up.
Oh, nice.
That's crazy.
That's my
so-
penance, is slapping you, apparently. That's my penance, is slapping you.
I invoke such paranormal love.
To move things back into the original conversation,
Yeah.
Tommy, you are the only person here who have been on all 3.5 seasons.
I like that. I was going to say that I guess I do offer a unique perspective because the Keymaster is the only one here. The other,
Yeah.
all the characters. No, the half season, none of the characters were on.
No, but you were a DM. What I
was
was
a
going
DM.
to say is I was around for the first season, but I wasn't involved.
You kept me alive.
I did.
You spent like
I know.
50
Yeah,
bucks throughout
that was one of the things we
season.
learned back in New Zealand is that part of the reason the Keymaster lived at the level 1 was because
Don, my golden
I
son.
gave him 25
He
inspiration.
wasn't part of the Deadliest Dungeon. He was the one
I
dropping
remember.
major dollars to keep Keymaster alive.
Yeah.
And every time he did it, we were in New Zealand, we'd all just look at him in the room and be like, you're the reason why this happened.
Hey,
Yep.
I had no skin in the game at the time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So the question was, I was
I was around during the first season, but I wasn't a part of it. But you have been a player / DM for all 3.5 seasons. So I'm curious about your perspective of the highs and the lows of each of the seasons, because we've kind of talked about them a little bit.
All right, let's break it down into a couple of the points you guys were talking about. Your first point was I don't remember what the first points were, but long rest versus short rest. Let's just go through the seasons and the DMs
Yeah.
and what they brought to the shows. So Kyle, if you go back and you're going to watch those shows for any reason whatsoever, first off, mind the tech. It was very good, but we were very new, meaning that we had microphones in our faces and stuff. And sometimes when you lean away, the microphone wouldn't catch it. So
Or
anyway.
try to drink a pint glass through a cage.
Kyle was
Or set the entire episode like this.
Kyle was great. He was rough.
Yeah.
He was a little bit condescending, so sometimes there was some actual arguing at the table, but I think that was part of its charm. At the time, we did not like the arguing at the table, but viewing it, you're like, man, this is how D&D is played. People are arguing about where to drop this power or some stuff, right? And whether you're 5 feet close or not. And it had to be very, very technical. And in all fairness, the players that we chose to play in it were technical players. Like Austin is a technical player. We never checked
It's also
him
like
out.
a cockroach.
We never.
Agreed.
We never expected him to be a good role player. We didn't expect him to be funny. We didn't expect all the things he's turned into. But Dovrik is one of the funniest.
Absolutely.
Like, his
Yeah.
portrayal of Dovrik is his one-liners are some of the funniest shit that I'm like, I cannot believe that, because in real life he's come out of his shell because of Deadliest Dungeon. He was very quiet and dry, and he's very funny now and very open. And I have to think that D&D had a big portion of that, especially Deadliest Dungeon. But the first game was very technical, so arguing over 5 feet or a cantrip over the use of some sort of saving throw or the benefits that you get for something was actually something that would stall the gameplay. And because we'd be arguing over, no, I can go that way. No, you can't do that move. And we'd start fighting over the rules. It was endearing for the idea of the show. What no one really expected was that the players that we brought out, in between those technical babbles, would roleplay. And the role-playing between those 4 characters started to become so funny that the people would become endeared to those characters, and that's how you started getting all those big spenders and stuff that were coming in to keep the characters alive. And then we made a joke. You did it when you said as the cloud voice, well, let's just see how long the Keymaster can live. And we're like, you know what? I think we can do the whole distance. And you're like, let's try. And then it became this like pride thing. And then like Vader Nojo and TK and Spec, whoever else came in and were throwing hundreds of dollars to try and kill Keymaster. That's how it all started. So Kyle's technical thing was great. His dungeon was deadly. It was, some of the comments when we rewatched the show was, we had to fight 4 Nilbogs. This is at level 1. We had to fight 4 Nilbogs, atop an ogre.
Howda. An ogre howda.
An ogre howda. And 25 goblins.
Yeah.
In the same encounter.
Yeah.
It was mayhem.
Yeah.
We were looking at this going, I think you did the math and you're like, it was challenge rating times 15 or something.
Something like that. It was like six times the deadly encounter.
6 times the deadly encounter. And deaths happened. Somehow we made it through.
Yeah.
I don't know.
It was mainly The main reason you made it through that was at the time, 10 Inspiration bought you a narrative advantage.
Right, we used narrative inspiration to do crazy things.
Because Jowdrad was like cleaving the entire goblin horde and like things like that. So you were just killing
right.
like several
He
at
used
once
the 10
with
inspiration
one attack.
narrative to allow a cleave, and he killed 6 goblins instead of
Yeah,
1, which evened the playing field. So there were narrative inspirations at the time. So I really enjoyed that. I enjoyed the Floor Guardian and the level by level going up. And the shop in between, which Kyle gave an actual time limit to. So once the time limit was up, it didn't matter what part of the transaction we were in, we got sucked to the portal and it was done. Those were interesting. What I wasn't a fan of in the first one was the way the inspiration was so transient that we were able to talk our way out of situations using the narrative inspiration, and we were able to modify death rolls, 1s and 20s.
How'd you feel about the action economy?
How the inspiration was spent?
Inspiration required actions and things like that.
Oh yeah, so inspiration required action economy. I thought that was a non-bow. I wasn't a fan of that because it created loops where people would put money into the channel, and then if because of the action economy loop, if someone spent that person's money to help the gameplay, and then Kyle technically could loop them into getting them killed again on the next turn, it would be like a waste of their donated dollars.
That was my biggest problem.
And you and
with
I,
the first
like
season.
all of us for sure behind the scenes, especially you and me, were like, the gameplay is important for us to play. The story was important for us to play. The entertainment value for the audience was important. Their donations were paramount.
Yeah.
The donations should trump the entire process of the game because that's the lifeblood of the channel. That's how the channel grows. People are putting real money in to augment the story.
We never want anybody to feel like it was wasted.
That was the thing.
And there was a number of
Many
times in
times.
season 1 where it just straight up felt
Yeah, I mean, Jowdrad spent inspiration to get up to then just get knocked down
Yeah.
again. It was $10 he blew. It was crazy. I recently looked over my bank account. Oh, don't say that.
Don't do that.
Don't look at it. It's the auction rule. Hold
He
the
says, I
paddle
was
up and
curious
look
to
away.
see how much I've spent trying to kill Tommy,
Yeah.
and oh boy, I've definitely helped renovate the studios to a large
Yeah,
percentage.
you definitely bought a camera.
That was one of the funniest things ever. Was when we did our first stream with the new mic setup, and we were saying we got a new mic setup, so let us know whatever. And then someone in chat said, "Thanks for the new setup, best guy."
Yeah, pretty much. So that was first season.
Yeah.
At the beginning, I enjoyed the technical fights, but I didn't like the technical fights in the end because when the role playing started coming out, and Sam really added to that. When the role playing started coming out, and we were really getting into that groove of storytelling between each other, that was good. And that changed it from we don't need to be technical. I didn't mind the penalizing things that Kyle had. They were
Neither did
detrimental. But why I liked them is because first I didn't get any. But why I Jesus Christ. But why I liked them was that it brought out more role playing because Gambit was at some point Gambit hobbling around.
He was carried around in a cart.
Yeah, well, Jowdrad ended up having to use his movement to move him around. It was faster to do that, and that was funny. And that's funny role playing. But we didn't have an end game, so that's why it made it difficult. Yeah. Season 2. So your season.
Yes.
As much as I love the foundations of the season 1, and the trap floor was my favorite floor of season 1. It's just traps. Oh God, the tension on that floor. The arguments we had in character about like what button to push, what wire to cut, what door to open. We couldn't sleep. That was the poison floor where we couldn't rest because we get poisoned.
They turned you inside out.
They turned us inside out. The second season, so your season, the narrative structure, the narrative story about Tharius trying to reconstitute was incredible. It was the role playing was paramount. The role playing, it was more role playing than anything else.
Yeah.
And the role playing put us into the situations that we got killed in and they got killed in, and then got us out of those situations. So the role playing was paramount.
Sorry, we're also like as you guys are saying
making
stuff, we're
notes.
like
Are you making
texting
notes?
each other.
Oh.
Like, write stuff down. Write that down. Write that down.
So the mycelium market was awesome because it was like playing an old school JRPG and finding the save point. It was really cool to like find that little room of reprieve in a dungeon where you could go in, even though there wasn't reprieve in some of the rooms.
Finding it on the floor, I like.
Finding it on the floor was great. That I really enjoyed.
That was kind of like the old school dungeon crawls of
It is.
yesteryear, where
I've
you could
100%ed
find
it.
a random dwarf selling gear in the middle of the beholder's dungeon.
Yes, it was. I love the mycelium market. My suggestion augmenting to that would be, I liked the spore idea, so finding a natural, I heard you guys talking about this, finding a natural resource earlier or doing trades and things makes sense. The gold point thing, the gold dollar value might be the way to just systemize that.
Yeah, like give things a value so that you know what you have to add up to.
I just don't think we should deal with gold.
Gold
like gold
itself,
coin.
I agree we should not deal with.
Values and everything
I
else,
think
sure.
that's
I feel like,
like getting gold is just kind of, it doesn't make sense.
I enjoyed from a mechanics perspective, because if you watch me, when you watch me play the game, I'm probably the least role player, which is weird because I'm a big role player, of the four of them, of the three other guys. Because I was the one who was playing the game all the time. Right? Now, I would do in-character things,
the reason you survived
but I
most.
built the character to play the game. Like the Keymaster was a skittish tactician strategist that would oversee the entire plot of playing the game, which is probably why I played so paranoid. But I like the idea of whatever mycelium market or whatever market you do, having a finite amount of resources. And it could be something as simple as you find the market, you take a D4, you have 3 healing potions that you can buy. The end. Now, if they have the resources,
where did you get dice from?
We just have dice around us at all times.
Like, a dice.
right? A die.
Yeah. Wait, you need dice?
I got some here.
Exactly.
I like the idea of the museum market having purchasable items, things that are ad nauseum, like you could buy like a million 10-foot poles if you want. Why would you do that? But for the coveted pieces, it has a very select amount of items, and those items would be like, you got 3 healing pots, you got X healing pots. Maybe once you buy the 3, the next floor you roll again, it could be 1. I don't know, but making it very difficult to just go in and buy a bajillion, there you go, to go buy a bajillion healing pots is part of what made it that we could never lose, because we would buy like 10 healing pots, and then if you gave like 6 to the Keymaster, that's why a lot of people didn't die, because of the fast hands.
Yeah, and having 2 separate shops that you can find both of them, and one deals in potions, one deals in not.
I think having a finite amount of resources actually is the best happy medium for what we were talking about, rather than you find the shop on the floor and they only has so much stuff. That way it's not a constant, you can just always go back and buy more stuff.
So here's the other thing. So the second floor, here are the things on the second floor I also enjoyed. I actually enjoyed the dungeon augments. I didn't enjoy how fast they got stacked, and the fact that at one point there was like 12 of them active.
All of them were active.
It gave incredible upkeep. And it was very clunky to to remember what was even happening.
Yeah.
And it was hard on you.
It was.
Because you had to be like, okay, at the start of the turn, all the things we had, everybody's rolling dice for 10 minutes just to see.
They were designed to have a couple active at once, not all of them.
Not 1,000. But I mean, I do enjoy maybe activating, maybe if there's 1 or 2 augments that could become active via the purchasing of the audience. And when it's active, it's active.
I think that works with our theming too. Like we could have unique ones for each floor, and
yeah, they could be unique ones. There could be some staple ones, but 12 was too many. Our goal was to scale them up. Even in the new scaled-up version of Season 3, people would pay so much into you that you would just.
We had 3 active at one point.
It's crazy.
Yeah, which I don't think that was necessarily the problem so much as we didn't know that they were, like, it was hard for us to keep track. It was impossible for the viewers to keep track. And even knowing what they were doing was like, we explained them when they happened, but like you can't explain them every 5 minutes to keep people up to date.
Right.
Having them posted on a website will help with that sort of thing.
Like if you were to keep the augments and stuff like that, having them posted to view and stuff like that is great. I think the best way to go forward with the augments, as an opinion, would be if you have the augment that people want to purchase and they can make it happen, it could be a voted system that there could be 4 different augments to choose from. The players never know what they are. The audience gets the vote. The one they pick is the one they get for the dungeon, but it's the audience's vote. And then when they activate it using inspiration, you activate it using inspiration. We don't know what that is, but the augment comes into play. And it could be the best ones that we had, where the empowered thing. I love the Revenant one, where when you kill them, the spirit moves 10 feet to try and kill you every turn. That one was incredible.
It was very, very heroic.
Those were good role-playing.
Kind of glad that I missed that.
Yeah, that was scary, man. There were a couple times we were locked by chains. I would kill someone with a dagger, and then that Revenant would be coming toward Jadrod. He was like, no, as it's coming toward him to kill him, and I'm like, oh, God. Okay, things about the second floor that I found.
Just real quick, Beskar, so we will keep that in mind about trolling you. And yeah, the augments were, they were a thought. We hadn't fully fleshed them out. we're
Yeah.
we're gonna do better.
Which
They
is
were a
why they'll be
reaction.
put on the back burner, possibly temporarily, maybe for the season. We'll see.
Possibly a floor by floor thing.
Yeah.
We'll figure them out.
Yeah.
For season 3, I did remove some of the saving throws on them and made a lot of them just auto. Like the electrified thing, there was no save anymore. It's just you take damage.
Yeah.
Which did speed things up a little bit.
Yeah.
But I do agree that
Streamlining them all together, like they're a good idea, and individually they're fun, but they need refinement.
Yeah.
Yep.
One of the things that I had a double-edged sword didn't like was the amount of treasure we found was really, really good in terms of like a player feeling like, you know, the time shard and things like that. These items were incredible, but I used them in ways that circumvented so many potential opportunities for TPKs and stuff, which is probably what the point was. But finding items and stuff like that, I think because it's the deadliest dungeon, we should, if you're going to give away like cool items and artifacts and things, there should also be, like you were saying, there should be, if not more, negative, like it's got to be 50-50 or more.
I do want to point out for your time shard, Jowdrad died for that.
Yes, I know.
But I do agree that I don't think.
But he did.
Right, but I do agree that I don't think that was an equivalent exchange because by floor 4, who cares? You now have this awesome weapon.
Right, and so Jowdrad did die for that, but the consequences of him dying for that, the penalties were okay. Like, they were much better than the first one, but the penalties weren't. The cost wasn't high enough for that item.
I agree. I think the item was
And a
too
lot of the
powerful
items he
for the
did
cost.
grab.
I think
Now-
that brings us back to like make more things cursed.
Yes.
Like make things have downsides as well
Or,
as upsides.
or yeah,
Or
not
both.
necessarily cursed,
Or-
but
yeah.
have a negative
Aspect
part
to
of
it.
You
how
got
they
it
work.
right when you gave him the cursed dagger.
Yeah.
So the curse, well, that cursed dagger was meant to be a deadly encounter for us to
Cursed
die.
the cursed dagger
he
in season
talked his way
3,
into it.
right.
He essentially did.
Yeah.
Yeah, you were way too kind with that, by the way.
I was just like, I want to see where this goes.
I know.
That's more so where I was at.
But I think what's interesting about that is he essentially spent inspiration, like the story moment. He did like a story moment where he got that thing. So, but if say that wasn't a deadly encounter, say he got that item, and he got the benefit of having this cool vampiric weapon, but also now has to like get blood no matter what, which means he attacks his party members uncontrollably. That is an interesting. If every item on the floor had something like that, even
Yeah.
the time shard was like, if I roll a 20, I get quickened, but if I rolled a 1, I'd get delayed. Like
How do you feel about the identify magnet?
the identified magnet was one of the coolest items ever because it removed our ability to discover what we were finding in the dungeon.
You guys,
never knew.
need to put an identify magnet in somewhere.
Absolutely.
So
I-
so we were talking about the Book of Hyperfixation as a perfect example of
Sorry, just real quick.
magic
Thanks, B, for joining as a member.
Yes, thank you.
Hey!
because its detriment was roleplay heavy rather than mechanical, but it did also offer a benefit.
Yeah.
And it did have a mechanical downside, by the way. You did have a negative D4 on anything that wasn't Arcana.
Yeah.
Wow.
So there was a mechanical kind
He
of
definitely
to it,
played
but-
up that disadvantage. Okay,
Yeah.
so that's it for that. So those are for those seasons, I think, and the aspects of what you guys are talking about. Definitely limiting a market, discovering the market on the floor. In terms of long rest, short rests between the two seasons, Kyle's penalties for long. He gave us short rests whenever we secured a room, except for that trap floor with the gas. Whenever there was an opportunity for a short rest, he gave it to us because he's like, it's your hit dice, it's your expenditures. Short rests are still penalizing.
Yep.
They
because
are, although for Dovrik, they were that you get everything back other than hit points. So
That's the class he chose,
was,
right?
yeah.
The thing that was difficult was when a character got knocked out in the first season. They were gone for X hours, and he
Yes.
played that to the point. And that was one of the contentions where we're like, what's the player supposed to do for
Yeah.
3 sessions?
3 to 4
So we
hours,
had
yeah.
to find a way to bake in
Yeah.
ways to get them up. So we fixed that by doing the D4 rule.
I think the
of
D4
getting the
works.
round back in.
Yeah.
That's great, and actually makes it strategic.
I might move it to a D6, but I think the
keep it
too
D4.
long.
The reason why is I would say even less than that, one or 2 rounds out, because what made it interesting, D4 is fine. What made it interesting is that if it was 3 rounds out, it became part of the strategy for the players to see how long they could hold on to get that character back up again to get them back into the fight.
One thing I would do, if we're keeping the D4, I want him to roll it. We shouldn't know when we're coming back.
Or in
For
our
that
case.
exact reason.
Oh, that would
Yeah,
be great.
Sorry, you should
We're
roll it.
just used to it. I understand.
Yeah. He's sitting in the DM spot.
it's the space.
We
No,
shouldn't-
you're right.
We shouldn't be able to strategize with it.
Oh,
We
yeah,
shouldn't-
for
Absolutely,
sure.
Yeah.
Interesting. Yeah, no,
if
that's
we-
cool.
Did you like the? Oh, I had it and then it's gone. You mentioned it. The finding the shop in the middle of the floor, being able to summon the shop. That was something we were talking about.
I like finding the shop more than summoning it.
Okay.
I mean, look, I like finding the shop, but I think that if there is a purchasable boon or something that people can pay for, that it's a once per dungeon card, they could summon the shop. That
Sure.
depends on
That's
how
not a
big.
bad idea,
that
yeah.
depends on how big your dungeons are. Like if we did like 3-room dungeons in season 3, right? Because it was so harrowing. But like in season 2, when you had that elemental floor, where it was just like
That's a 32-room dungeon.
huge dungeon. One mycelium market that then fades away after you use it would be rough, but summoning it later on is a cool idea if it's the one-time summon,
Right.
as you were saying in the chat earlier. Do we cash it in now? Do we do it now? You could, the same way you would buy a dungeon augment that is a private and one-time use dungeon augment for this floor, you could have a one-time boon that the audience votes for.
I was gonna say,
which
yeah,
could
like-
be shop, long rest,
Yeah.
could be tons of things, and then they
Actually, making the long rest be like, because right now it's 20 inspiration, but making that instead be like a power up that can just be purchased by an audience member might not be the worst idea.
purchased by an audience member once per dungeon floor.
Once per dungeon
The
floor,
one thing
yeah.
we've always done in the past
Yeah.
is we've never exhausted the resources that we
Yeah.
pay for because we're like, oh, who's going to give the Keymaster 20 inspiration to spend on a story inspiration? And then Richter and B and at the time TK and Vader Dojo were all, the Coot and I were dropping 10, 20 at a time, and I'm like, oh, story moment, and like the Succession Wars.
Yeah, I do think I would be a fan of dropping the high end of the chart and making them things that are one use per floor.
So you were talking about short and long rests from season 1.
So if the long rest is tied into story-wise, if they can find a clever way to take a long rest and get past the augments that you guys or the stuff that you've put into play, great. I loved the roles because we would do our long rests. We would situate ourselves in a way that we wouldn't be surprised, but it would be an encounter. And you would always describe like the guards walking and stopping and looking around, and then you'd roll.
Yep.
And we didn't know what the roll was.
Yep.
So the guards would walk up to the door, Keymaster would be watching, daggers ready to go. I was always above the door, like waiting to plop down.
Well, there was the time you were at the top of the stairs and you were like, you were doing performance checks to like persuade them that you were for the master, so they thought that more people were up there, and they wouldn't come up the stairs.
That's right.
But it was a roll every time.
But it was a roll
and you
every
could have
time.
failed.
I forgot
yeah.
about that. It was a roll every time. That was good.
Bezkar asks.
Well, couple quick things. Crafty Connect. This was from a while ago, but yes, Gambit absolutely became Professor X without the powers.
Yeah.
And
We're still doing a head keychain.
Beskar, the idea of like only certain augments being available
Yeah.
for the floor, I think yes, I think we
Which,
like that.
on that note as well, like we were just talking about ideas. With our idea, we have so many ideas for like boons and stuff, so we might keep
and they'll
the
be
boons
unique to
and
stuff.
whatnot, and it'll be
going on.
so awesome and so unique to everything that's going on.
Every floor
and
is
it just
going
makes
to
me
be
more excited now.
wild.
I would recommend no more than 4 because that's the limit that
Obviously,
you can
yeah.
pull.
It'll be floor specific, and every floor is going to be crazy.
So,
Yeah.
new DMs. I have a question. My question to you is like, do you have any questions for me based on any of the aspects of the up and coming dungeons you guys or the game you're going to play, your style, being your style? Are there any questions you'd like to know about what I liked and disliked about certain aspects of the show?
It's tough to ask questions without
Spoiling?
spoiling
Anything?
stuff.
Well, here
we
are
can
some-
always ask stuff off screen.
Here are some questions.
I know. I
Beskar
saw Bezkar's question.
and generic have
Yeah.
questions.
Bezkar asks, what are the DM's opinions on viewers being able to make a big inspiration donation to instantly revive a player one time a session for, like, say, the final fight or the bring the dead player back at a tense moment?
Are you saying so a player has died?
Dead?
Like
no,
dead?
so when you because currently
We're
when you
down.
die you roll a d4 and you come back in that many rounds. So the idea
With
would be
a
if
detriment.
the audience were to spend the money, they would just come back immediately rather than waiting the several rounds for them to come back.
I'd be willing.
I would say...
It's just a matter of stream delay and
That's the hard one for me.
Yeah.
Now, hopefully, we are going to reduce the amount of delay because we should be moving to my.
I know how to do it.
Yeah. Well, there's a couple of levers that we can pull, and I think also moving to StreamSmith will help.
I know how to do it. if you don't mind.
No, go ahead.
If that's something you want to pursue, even beyond just the revive, instant revive, any of those major things that you want to have purchasable, that it could be a thing that someone could donate toward to get that. It doesn't have to be at the time of. It could simply just be Beskar could say, or anybody who's donating could say, I want to buy an instant revive ticket for Thok, right?
Yes.
And they just buy it.
Yes.
Now it's up to the dungeon masters to have that documentation, maybe a little sticky
Obviously.
note at the end of the screen, or it could just be Adrian has that on the chat thing,
Yeah.
or it could be on the actual screen as like purchasable boons, right? And then but Thok may not know it exists. And that's important. And
to
so
be-
then when Thok dies, you can say, and you've died. Ding, the bell rings. I missed the
And
bell
you're back.
for the record. The bell rings and you go, I'm going to roll a d4, except I'm not going to roll a d4 because the d4 explodes into sparkling magical light that revives you to full health. Thank you
I
to
don't
the
hate that.
purchase of Beskar.
That could really
who-
play into our theme as
favors
well,
Thok.
anyways, for
Yeah.
what we're thinking. It can
Oh my god,
definitely.
yeah, absolutely.
Thok did need a few revive.
Thank you.
Yeah,
I really appreciate
Thok was the gambit of the third
He really,
season.
he really was.
The
Yeah.
other thing that we used to do, which is in that same sort of vein, was like I used to allow people to do inspiration traps where
Yeah.
Well,
where they would
we did a little bit of those too in
yeah,
season 2. Yeah.
where you could just say like, hey, when somebody says a certain word or whatever, like I was pretty
I loved
promiscuous
inspo
with them,
traps.
and I would just call it out to the party when it happened, but they wouldn't know. It was just between me
You
and
just
them.
touched on something.
Yeah.
Two things. The inspiration traps, I tried doing it in the final session of season 3 when I
Yeah.
said whoever goes to the first death save gets the Keymaster's remaining inspiration.
Love it.
We did that.
Yeah, it
We
was
did
good.
do
Oh,
it.
okay, I was
Yeah.
probably shouting.
She got it,
Surprisingly, unsurprisingly, actually, hold on, let me change that.
That-
Unsurprisingly, it was me.
The second thing I really missed, and this is just essentially just
That's because you went by yourself into the horribly trapped room.
Yeah.
I mean, the gambit of season 3. I will. The other thing I missed, and it's more of a channel thing I missed, was the puns on and off. Now, I know that we used to have this thing on the channel where if you subscribe to Twitch, you would toggle the pun on-off meter. And it was
Subscribe or
on-
gifted a subscription.
Subscribe or gifted a subscription. In this case, it would also be memberships at the YouTube. But if you subscribed, you would turn the pun meter on or off depending on what state it was in. If the pun meter was on, you could pun and annoy anybody and the viewers and everything to no end with puns, and I did.
You mean like just in time? That
Just
whole
in time,
last session
all
that
that
was
stuff.
killing me?
So what would happen is if the pun meter was turned off, he couldn't introduce the character as just in time. My name is Justin. Forget the last name. But if he said just in time,
Mr. Time.
that character would get a D4 psychic damage, not protected. And as a player, if I wasn't paying attention to the pun meter,
Which he never did.
which I never did, and almost killed the Keymaster multiple times because I would be like, oh, what a funny little blah blah, and then like puns are on or off. I'm like, oh shit, and have to roll a D4 and be like, oh, I take 4 psychic damage and knock myself out. Like the Keymaster almost killed himself with pun damage. That's
great.
I missed that. That was not a game thing. It was just
No.
a channel thing I loved.
Yeah, I would love to hear some ideas on stuff like that.
sure.
The pun meter was what
Maybe
made our
just-
channel unique.
Maybe
you know?
just straight up puns is okay. Like I don't know.
We could just bring it back.
we could punt it into the park.
But
I like the idea. I don't know if subscriptions
real life
is the
psychic
right
damage.
toggle for it, but I love the idea. Which goes to the same sort of thing we were talking about with curses affecting role playing instead of just your character. right?
Somebody was mentioning on the drive. Somebody was mentioning sentient items.
Yeah.
yep, we were talking about
It was some people in chat.
That should be
We
it.
need more.
Because sentient items would be disgusting.
Yeah, we need more.
Oh, for sure.
Oh.
There's some stuff we could
have
do.
thought-
with that.
I
Ooh,
stand
yeah.
by the fact that my favorite moment from season 3 was when Jowdred got a parasite called me.
Yes.
Oh,
No, you.
It was you.
It was you. That's right. It was you. The
who's
Abbott,
unfirsted them.
the Abbott and Costello moments.
The shorts from that are going to be incredible.
Oh, yeah.
No, you. No, me. No, you.
Me?
You are
No,
going to go.
you.
Not you. You. It's like, well, who?
I think the funniest thing was just the you are in me, and it's like, no.
And then him and
No.
Austin.
Him and Austin were just going back and forth, and it's like, no.
He's named after you. Who? Me.
Also, Dovrik, no.
Oh, yeah.
What?
Yeah, Jowdred has a parasite named Dovrik, apparently.
More horrible Meridia's beacons.
It was amazing.
It was so good.
Fair enough.
Oh, yeah.
So secondary was how about donations for spawning a new monster to fight in addition to the above? That's from Generic.
Yeah.
Which we did. We've done.
Which could
if you
also
want to
work.
touch on
Could
that.
work.
So, go ahead.
In season 1, the very first encounter, for 10 inspiration bought for the DM, they could cash it in for a vote. And the vote was always reinforcements, to which then
Yeah, it was,
the dungeon master...
there were options, but
Yeah.
But it
the only
always
one
was-
anyone
always-
chose is reinforcements.
The curse item was how the hyperfixation cube, or how the identify cube got
Identify cube,
introduced, was a purchased thing, and the audience said cursed item, and then he brought in the cube. But in the very first encounter, you got to watch at least the second episode. That was when we were level 1. We were fighting zombies, which is tough for no weapons, basically.
You had like, you had like 2 daggers
We had like 2
amongst all
daggers.
4 of you.
The 4 of us were trying to fight these zombies. And we ended up fighting 3 of them or 2 of them. It was enough that it was a deadly encounter.
It was bad, yeah.
And we just about got a good grip on that encounter. And then reinforcements were purchased, and Kyle brought in like 4 more zombies.
It was dumb.
It kept going.
That was one of the biggest issues I had with the inspiration system in season 1 was it was like for 10 inspiration you can get reinforcements, which then the players have to spend 50 inspiration to deal with.
Yeah,
That was ridiculous.
One of the things in season 2 was like the idea that the encounter could refresh for 10 inspiration from the DM. Is like all the characters got like a short rest or a long rest. So if I spent 20, all of my guys would get a long rest. And like the problem with that was that the encounters would just slog on forever, and it's just like eventually it just.
Now that was okay.
However, having predetermined augments for the fight that the audience could just like trigger for a donation similar to a boon, where it's just like all of the creatures in the fight get an extra 10 HP or something.
Yep, that's
did,
cool.
I did
Like-
also do reinforcements in the first floor, I remember.
Yes.
But I had a reinforcements chart built into that dungeon.
Right.
So all I would
Right.
do is just
Right.
spawn one of my already, because if you did certain things, I would roll to roll for a patrolling group, and I would just bring one of those.
And
in.
again, a one-time burn for the dungeon. So
Yeah.
you get the reinforcements
Right.
for the dungeon, you burn it as the dungeon masters, you choose when to add it, when the party's at the best hope possible, and then you suddenly, the door opens and more shit swarms in, and you're like, oh, goddamn. But that only happens once per floor.
Right.
You get that one sloggy fight that gets over with, and it is exciting to be in a sloggy fight. That's a dungeon.
Yeah, once per floor.
Sorry.
If it was every fight, it would start to become.
Both of you looked like you were trying to say stuff.
Yes, because
just
I
tapped my arm, I'll
was
shut up.
because
No, go ahead.
I love the reinforcement idea. I did mention earlier in the stream, I believe, we do also want to take some floors away from it's just fights and
Yes.
towards alternate win cons,
100%.
alternate stuff. Maybe stuff
Ooh, I
that you
like that.
can't fight and beat, and maybe you're trying to accomplish something in the floor to get out before that thing just like runs you all
That's
over.
phenomenal.
I would love that.
So reinforcement as like a constant thing might not work on those floors. That's kind of the only
That's
thing.
great.
But having
but
it
I think
is
it
still
would-
But
something
we'll
that
have,
can
like, some
be
different
there.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
So
dungeon
yes.
augmentations on those floors, like stuff that makes it harder for them to finish the.
And what I was thinking
Oh,
was
yeah.
like, when
Absolutely.
we start a fight, if you wanted to, you could be like, and if the audience wants to, you can goose this
reset
fight up.
this.
Yeah, so and that would be like, oh, we've got a special, yeah, that's great. Yeah, you
Like
can goose
just
it
for
up.
the fight, announce it at the beginning of the fight. It doesn't need to be floor wide. You can just be like, by the way, Beskar, if you would like to, stuff like that is what I was thinking.
Yeah, absolutely.
So-
I love the idea of audience being able to like change kind of what's going on in the floor itself.
Oh, absolutely.
Depending on whatever the floor is having.
So cool factor.
Just real quick, Beskar, I did actually see your comment before as well. Having the sentient items be played by somebody else who happens to be hanging out in the studio
Would be hilarious.
like
Oh, that'd be so
off
funny.
screen
Because
as
I
a
did see
microphone.
him earlier say, imagine if
Yeah.
Tommy was a sentient sword.
Oh, the keymaster gets stuck in a sword and he just blah, 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 blah.
1,000%. We will.
I have thoughts.
We will do something.
That's
with
how
that.
I'll play.
Having a persistent item played by somebody else is difficult, but having
Yeah.
like a temporary thing.
I actually thought it would be fun to have a magic item based off each of the original 4.
Well,
Yeah.
we do.
So like you
we
get
wanted
like a
to
little
pay
key that like
homage
flips into
Yeah,
a
you had
switchblade.
mentioned. Yeah.
So we
That's
wanted
so
to have
funny.
a way to pay homage to
We
OG?
have to maybe
players,
even like
OG,
a
that
mini
kind of
floor,
stuff.
like a mini floor in between that's based on each
Yeah.
on an old character.
Oh my
or
god,
whatever.
is Sam not watching? We have to get Cray. We have to get Cray to record a whole bunch of stuff. or just because we can't let them ever meet. We have to let Craig record a bunch of stuff, and then when Sam guests as Gambit on the show, the item he gets is just a glass of wine he can't ever let go. It's just, and it just goes, you son of a bitch, you don't do anything right. He's like, he loses, just starts
crying. I knew this thing was dead weight.
Well, he'd be so confused because Cray doesn't exist.
Yeah,
so
he
he
wouldn't
wouldn't hear it. He'd be like, what's going on here? We actually, very early in the channel's history, I had the idea of doing weekly state of the channel stuff, and we just weren't big enough. There wasn't enough to talk about at the time.
There's a lot to talk about.
There's a lot more to talk about
That's
now.
kind of what this is, right?
What B said was, how about a pot where when it reaches a certain threshold, we do an extra stream of basically
That's just this.
Oh, I love
Talk
that.
about,
I don't
what's
think-
going on.
I don't think we need to make a
No,
plot for that.
I don't think it
No.
needs to be
Yeah.
something
I
that
think
you
we
all
could- that can be like a once a
Kind of
month, maybe.
plan is if there ever, God forbid, if ever in the new season, if like there's a time where we don't have players, God forbid again,
Well, we get sick and stuff.
we would just come in, like me and Mal would just come in, sit, and just have a conversation.
I think
with
that's
you.
the most
Deadliest
important.
discussion.
The deadliest
Yeah,
discussion.
discussions.
There's your show.
We're not
Yes.
bringing up what I said when we were talking about that because
The
it was
talkiest dungeon?
The what? The thockiest
The
dungeon.
talkiest dungeon.
The talkiest.
I was like, what do you want to call it? And she was like, I don't know, the talkiest dungeon.
I just
immediately
lost
retracted
my
what
head,
she
and
said.
I was like, no, don't listen to me.
You can't say
Tell
stuff
me
like
to-
that when you're around us. That's how shit gets started forever.
And that can also bring us back to getting suggestions from the audience on floor themings.
Exactly.
Because our overarching theme lends
Once
to...
it's kind of revealed, we can be like, what do you guys want to see?
Yeah. Do you have any ideas?
Also, one of the things that we've talked about a few times, and it's always been a bit of a trick, especially with the time slot that we were doing it in. We've kicked around the idea of going, okay, we ended the session, instead of just being like, okay, and we'll see you next week. Potentially, at least some of the time,
Just after talk.
stay
Small
live
break,
for
yeah.
a half an hour and
Small
just
break.
chat.
DD
Having
after
chit
dark.
chat.
Yeah.
Oh, that's
So absolutely.
What did
I don't think
Double
I
D
said
I said
after
double D
dark.
after dark.
Yeah.
Deadliest Dungeon after dark.
crazy. Insane name.
Maybe rethink that. See, and that's just as silly as me immediately going, Talkiest Dungeon.
No, it's not.
Talkiest-
Talkiest Dungeon's gonna stick around.
No,
Double
it's
D after
not.
dark.
No, it's not. I refuse.
Iceman says
Oh, now that I know
Talkiest
it is.
Dungeon going to be the podcast.
No.
Talkiest Dungeon, the podcast.
That'd be great, actually.
Yeah. So, anyways,
podcast.
You could call
more
it the Sedliest Dungeon.
Okay.
informal chat stuff absolutely needs to
Blabberiest
happen.
Dungeon.
It's a great way to bring up ideas and let you in on
The
the ideas
punniest
that we do have.
podcast.
Oh,
That's a great one.
yeah.
I am going to bring back True Talk, but I'm going to take because True Talk. So over the years, True Talk has been, and people want you to bring back your dungeon.
I know,
Dungeon.
I know.
True Talk over the years was my vent session podcast thing, where I would talk about my life, and it'd often just be like an emotional vent sesh. I am the most content, happiest person I've ever been. So that's why True Talk was going away because
Yeah,
I
this
just
guy.
because I can't. So True Talk's format was about therapy with everybody. Not that I say I don't need that anymore. You always need therapy, but I don't need that anymore. So True Talk, I was watching a few of the earliest versions back when it was Designer Diary, and it turned into True Talk. The Designer Diary thing was great. All I was doing was showing people stuff and talking about generic what we're doing right now. So I do want to bring that back, and I'm going to bring that back to a regulated time slot, even if it's just an hour in my office talking about cool shit that's going on and D&D stuff, because there's lots of cool stuff to talk about. But I do have a question for the Dungeon Masters.
Yes.
What do you think would be cooler in your dungeon for me to play? Would you like me to play, because I'm not playing anything like the Keymaster.
No, obviously.
So would you like me to play a tankier, cleric-like dinosaur man
Okay.
who just is just like crud, like plated triceratops, just like punches his way through things like
Okay.
the beefy tank that gets his ass kicked, or would you like me to play a frail wizard like Thundercat?
I always love a beefier, maybe low
I
intelligence
think the beefier
tank.
character also fits.
It does.
I don't know, because that's
Call him Faendra Jouklan.
no. Because I wanted part of the reason why the Keymaster was so elusive is because he was elusive. He couldn't die because he played
Bonus action hide.
bonus action hide, man. Like,
And then rolling like a 31 on the
yeah, but I mean, like for the I mean, because I want to play something different for this one, and even though he's guesting in the dinosaur idea, there's Vernerar, there's like, and it really shows off of Mario as well. So it'd be like a Vernerar cleric of some sort, or a knight or something, you know.
I like the tank a lot.
You want the tank instead of a Thundercat?
Tommy Tyrannosaurus.
Tommy the Tyrannosaur. I mean, that's
really
not
good.
the first time I've heard that nickname. You know what I mean?
No, I like the idea of the beefier character because I think it fits a lot more with
our
theming.
yeah.
But it's also like,
Tyranna Tommy.
Yeah. Not spoiling anything, but we do have kind of an overarching.
oh yeah.
Oh, I'm excited for this, by the way.
Oh yeah.
There are like
I gotta
it is
spend some time
4x4s.
in the costume room today.
Oh my god,
Oh,
yeah.
yeah.
Before I go home.
I have a costume
You've
prop
got yours
that
already figured out, and I'm just
I
like,
built it
I
like last
have
year. It's
half of a thing, part of
One thing.
I do want to talk a bit more about characters
Yes.
Yeah.
and players. But first, Iceman, that is a great way to introduce whatever we do in terms of Deadliest Dungeon chats.
Make the talkiest dungeon an
Basically,
hour long.
like, sit down and, like, as though we're starting a short rest as our characters.
yeah.
And then,
I like that.
or like the waiting room in between floors.
Yeah,
I love the waiting room in
Tyrannosaurus
between floors.
Jesus
I think
I
there's
swear that is actually kind of great.
What is it?
I want to call the
Tyrannosaurus Rex.
Tyrannosaurus.
That's
Okay.
kind of
I'm going
great.
to play Tyrannosaurus Rex.
Oh, you gotta do it like that guy you played in
God.
Penance.
Coziest Crypt, that's also great.
Cozy's
Ooh, that's
Crypt
really
is so
good.
That's
good.
great.
Oh my God, yes.
So characters. So first,
Iceman, you might have just given him his entire
Yeah,
character.
that's
Tyrannosaurus is going to be
pretty fucking good.
his like the game, right?
Yeah.
His real name will be something very punny.
This dinosaur man crashes into the room wearing a sports jersey.
Tyrannosaurus. Today's fight is brought to you by Under Armour.
Gets taken into
know,
the
I don't
Deadliest
even-
Dungeon in the middle of like a sports
Red
game.
Bull.
So
He's
he's
going to
like,
be like, I don't even care.
His
I'll kick open that door. I don't even care.
his most prized possession is the case of creatine he carries.
Yo, you drink Celsius?
So first,
Hashtag
I
not
don't even
sponsored.
care. I don't
first
even
of
care.
all, players.
Hashtag not
layers,
sponsored.
yeah.
Yes, that's what.
No, not
any of
actually,
those things.
Not actually sponsored by any of those. Do we know?
Where did the D20 go?
In my head.
It was there.
Do we know who is playing? I'll put this one back. It's nice and sparkly.
This one is
Who is
too.
playing in the first floor? Do we know who's starting? When we have a roster.
When does it start?
2 weeks.
We have
Ostensibly to
Austin
the end of
and we
November?
have you as our permanent players.
So we're doing two. I'm up for it. Let's do it.
You and Austin?
Two-person Deadliest Dungeon.
that
Fuck
would
yeah.
go really bad, I think.
No.
You
So
would
is
die
it-
a lot.
Is it on the the Sunday
Sundays at
Not
1:30.
next Sunday because we're still trying to find.
next Sunday is PAX
Our-
for me.
And we're still
Sunday after
figuring
that.
it out.
Yes.
It'll probably
need to-
be.
It's going to
Sunday
ostensibly start the Sunday
following.
after our game
Well,
starts.
if Hero Forge sponsors us, we have to get those minis done. So we're gonna have to make sure.
That is a separate issue. Yeah.
We can.
Minis seem to be the one thing. that
Minis-
holds
I
us
now
back.
imagine
are
a dinosaur with your
fucking-
outfit from Humans and Households.
Holy shit! That's right. Well, that was Flex Mastodon. That was the character's name from
Yeah.
Flex Mastodon from Humans and Households.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He was basically just Gaston.
Yeah, Minis has been the bane of our fucking existence.
Blood and oil
aim
slicking the pavement.
For 2 weeks from now, and then it might turn into a Wednesday game situation where we aim for 2 weeks from now, and then it pushes maybe a little.
Yeah. Well, so
If it's 2 weeks from now, I won't be in the starting floor or the starting roster. If it is if it's after that for December, I can be the starting roster because we're good to go. Now, admittedly, there's going to be one major disruption in December that we're going to work around. based on the timing. We do have Keith Baker at Greenwood, Lisa Teague, potentially Gygax. They're all coming here again in December to shoot the season 3 finale, season 3 and the finale, or ish, we don't know, of Legacy of Worlds.
The arc finale.
The arc finale of Legacy of Worlds. In addition, we're also doing Shadowrun Takedown season 3, or World of Shadows season 3, all in that time frame.
I'm so excited
So
for
the
that.
studio is going to be packed with filming, but we're going to do it in a way that doesn't interrupt the regularly scheduled program. The set might be different. You might have Deadliest Dungeon with a Shadowrun set in the background, but it's still
Which would be
filmable.
weird.
Yeah, it'll be fun.
However, it
Might work.
kind of,
Yeah, our theme
Really
gives us all
fitting, you
so
know
much
what?
flexibility. It's,
I'll take it.
Thank God.
I love the flexibility of our theming.
We'll figure
it makes
all
our
that
life
out.
easier.
That's fine.
What that means is that if Keith and all those guys are going to be here, you could have them do a Deadliest Dungeon.
We
this
could
week.
do a
right.
mini.
Oh,
Who
so
doesn't?
right.
Who doesn't forget that glorious time when they spent 45 minutes opening Ed Greenwood's door to the point where he had his NPC get off its chair, walk over, open the door, and say, "Well."
I love Ed Greenwood.
Technically, Lisa Teague
Lovely
did
man.
TPK us.
That's right.
She just never finished
I
the
would
job.
actually, that would
those-
be awesome.
That would
For
be
those
super
who weren't
fun.
there, it was a learning thing for me to
Yeah.
watch Keymaster build up the nerve to bring his wire cutters up to the wire and then tell Ed, "I cut the wire," to which Ed responded, "Where?" and seeing the fear in his eyes, he's like, "Whoa, whoa, 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 whoa."
Will there be a regular schedule in January? So,
Your regular schedule
Hopefully now.
there is, in theory, as of now, there is a regular schedule. Wednesdays we will be going live
For
nominally. We've
Whatever
heard
you-
We're
different
thinking like
things.
6:30 is probably.
6:30
We should
is when
lock
you
that
would
down
to-
now.
Yeah, we need to.
6:30
lock
is probably the best.
6:30
for
is the
Okay.
best.
So Wednesdays we will be live at 6:30. That includes leading up. Like, I don't love the fact that we're probably looking at like 3 or 4 session zeros for that game at this point, but that's the way the cookie crumbles. We will still be live on Wednesday nights.
I mean, we can also just run a one-off that night while
Well,
we're
it
waiting,
could.
as long
We'll
as
figure it
something
out.
goes down.
Yeah, we'll
right?
figure it out.
something will go down.
So Wednesday is 6:30 to 9:30 ish.
9:30.
Sundays, we will be live.
Regardless.
1:30.
Yeah.
Going forward, this time slot is the new time slot. It's 1:30 till nominally 4:30. We
4:30-ish.
may not be the full length leading up to the actual start, but that is going to be the case. When will we truly start the series of Deadliest Dungeon? We'll figure it out
When it is
as soon as
the
reasonable.
best time for us to do
Yeah.
so as soon as possible.
But we
Yeah.
will be live leading up to that.
Oh, for
regardless.
sure.
We'll
Whether
be
it's
working
just
on
us hanging out,
Yeah.
working on
Yeah.
floor design, whatever.
So,
Yeah.
so you can actually count on these 2 time slots going forward into the
I
foreseeable.
mean, I would argue that the viewership's going up just by us sitting here talking.
Yeah, no, people like this, which is cool.
And I love that people
Feels like
this.
the old days.
It does a bit. We will be here.
When we get the website up that talks about all the other stuff, we'll put a calendar in there.
No, we won't.
It's literally for.
That's something
Sorry.
we've never done.
Sorry, by that I mean we'll put like a this day, this time, this day, this time.
For each stream.
He says that, and yeah, that we can put up. If
be-
we put up a calendar, it will be out of date in 3 days.
In terms of other programming, I mean, so the Wednesday night long form game, the Sunday Deadliest Dungeon game.
Those are the regular.
Those are the
schedule.
regular scheduled things. Yeah.
I have been toying with the idea of standing up a Shadowrun game on the Sundays as well.
That'd be great.
I want to.
Heartbeat,
It's
awesome.
just a matter of figuring that out. But it would presumably come after the Deadliest Dungeon. So it's like
Yeah, I can say for certain that so I'm only gone this Wednesday because of PAX.
yeah.
After that, all of the conventions that I'm going to until March are Thursday to Sunday or Monday, because they're all fan expos and or other conventions that are 3-day cons, and I don't travel till Thursday. Which means that I will be the game. Huxel Faraday will be consistent
Yay.
on Wednesdays for the long form game for 3 months, which is kind of what you need to really establish the foundation. I'm very excited about that. Like,
Yeah,
I'm
me too.
extremely excited about having that stability to be able to be like, oh my God, Wednesdays are my nights to come play D&D.
And us getting another chance to grow characters from scratch again. will
Man,
be
I gotta tell you,
wonderful.
Foley and Eke,
It was fun.
some of my favorite
great.
D&D of my life is
Yeah.
Foley and Eke playing. And watching Strands of Destiny's level 20 finale,
Yeah.
because I'm scoring it right now. The title sequence is
fun.
done. Everything looks amazing. It's going to release next week to memberships, and then it's going to slowly trickle out to the audience. But Strands of Destiny, it is crazy good.
Good.
Like it is like, it's better than Legacy of Worlds. Like it's crazy good. Like you can tell you and I have gone through the gamut of level 1 to 20 to get to where we are. And we can also tell that you as Foley are like, at level 20, he's as ignorant of the world as he was at level 1.
He was never gonna figure it out.
He was like, I will time dragon my way through the whole
Won't
damn
spoil
thing.
it, but my favorite was when I brought back the old changing the way that you must interact as with role playing, and it happened to happen to Adrian, and he was ready for it, and he wasn't ready for it.
Oh yeah, that's right. It was so fun.
He was like, "Bring it on, bring it on." And I explained what it was. He's like, "Okay."
Yeah, 1 hour of Adam and I having a conversation as Keymaster, or as Eke and Hivarg, and he's like, "Oh, that kind of role playing."
That's right.
Yeah, so the other half of that question, though, for the regular schedule, both of those games will be underway in January.
Always.
100%. If those games aren't both in full swing by January,
We're doing
there
something
will
wrong.
be castrations.
Since the viewership is high at the moment, I just want to say.
Hold on now.
You don't need to worry
now.
about that.
It's not necessary.
Got the biggest one in the room, let's be honest. No.
Crazy.
Where did this conversation go?
Yeah,
I was going to say, for the viewership at the moment, I will say that I've watched you play on Tuesdays, and I watched your sample game. You're in for a treat.
It's gonna be fun.
These DMs are going to be phenomenal. We had to vet to make sure we had good Dungeon Masters sitting in the seat going forward, which we have had great DMs, but we just wanted to make sure that as this channel grows, that we take the opportunity. We'll get Nicholas back again soon. We're going to figure out how to get him involved. I loved having Nick. Nick was a lot like Kyle in terms of his technicals, which was amazing.
Yep.
And we'll have stuff with Nick on the channel, and I think I didn't know. Did we say, was Helen going to be in the next party?
We're in discussion.
Okay, so yeah, we're going to have that party built out, and is this, it's a rotating party, or is this many?
Each floor is going to be a consistent party.
I see.
At least we're. There are ways we could.
No. Each
But-
floor will be a consistent party. If somebody misses an episode, they automatically suffer 4 deaths.
If somebody
how I
has a
got you in 1 second.
catastrophic issue coming in on that day,
Then
Yes.
you get to punish me.
No,
yeah, we'll like work around it.
There
but-
will be occasional guest slots, and worst case, if we need to run an episode with 3 players, we can figure
wild.
that out.
Yeah.
There are enough people we can pull on to guest play that we shouldn't have a problem.
Well, that's where Gambit and all those guys.
exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Oh,
I
absolutely.
enjoy throwing myself under the bus. What's this? Yeah. So be the part of the reason that we're standing up the role playing channels is so that it doesn't feel quite as much like you have to be present during the episode to be part of it.
Yeah.
There will be a lot more ability if you can't get. Obviously, we love when people can get to the live, but time zones and everything are a thing. Absolutely.
Especially when you have New Zealand and Australia.
Exactly. Yeah. I mean, it's
And
very,
Germany,
very
and
global.
UK
yeah.
for atomics.
The
So-
ads would just go away.
Right.
But yeah, being able to interact with us in between streams is going to be
Yeah,
key.
I was kind of half joking about the waiting room between floors, but like honestly, it'd
kinda
be
love it.
kind of funny.
The Beetlejuice comment was perfect.
Yeah,
I was
like-
laughing myself almost into an accident because it's true. because it's true. It's true. It's just having everyone sit in the waiting room and just being like, have that little head person there.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
like,
What's up?
Character
Won't let me. I'll get it
absences-
from the VOD. It's fine.
Character absences can be explained away by me killing that character
They
4
should be.
times.
So there are
Beat them to death.
back during the great shut-in of 2020. I
Yes.
ran an online game to not go crazy, and
Real.
I would have people who would be absent, and I would reach out to all my other friends who played who had nothing better to do, and I'd bring them in. And I had to come up with reasons why players were leaving and new players were coming in, and I really enjoyed the narrative challenge of trying to fit all that together.
For sure.
It can be done. It can be a little
middle
gymnasticy
of a
sometimes,
floor
but
is gonna be very
no, you can
gymnastic.
100% pull it off.
Well,
you can
it's not
always
about
find a
With our
way.
theme, we can.
It's pull-offable.
It's not about
laughable.
pulling it off. It's
Which
about,
I love how we just go with our theme, and it's like you guys are in for a treat with
It's
it.
gonna be-
Honestly,
I'm
like
excited.
it is so exciting, and
very
like
excited.
I'm very
obviously
happy
we'll
with
probably talk a little bit more off
Sure.
screen about it, which
I think
then
it's
that'll
something that
reveal
I-
the theme to you
There's-
if you're okay with that. But
Yeah, well,
don't
I can
wanna
see
announce-
I can see you guys when you,
you can
talk
also
on. Yeah,
see when we chat, but we chat
I am
more
going
about
to
it.
know what's going on. I am very,
One way or another.
I am very good about
It's unavoidable.
compartmentalization. It will not bleed through to my character. You have my word. Couple things.
I know you're good for that for sure.
Yeah, it will not bleed through into role playing. Couple things. Yes, absolutely. You can write people out. It's but with Deadliest Dungeon, equipment, spell slots, all of that. Like it has an
matters.
outsized impact with it. So we will have a crew for a floor. Will there be
Regardless.
emergencies? Yes. Will there be
Absolutely,
guest stars?
happens. Things
Yes.
happen.
Guest
But
stars.
there will be a set group for each floor. 100%.
Yeah,
that
it
is
will,
our
it
goal.
may well change drastically between floors.
Yeah.
That's okay. We'll figure that out.
If we can get them in for it, having like the Legacy of Worlds cast. for
Sure.
that
Oh, we'll figure
would
something
be
out.
That'd be so
phenomenal.
cool.
If that may
Just
be
a
a
really
special,
fun,
yeah.
special like
Our floors
thing.
don't all have to be 4-episode, 5-episode floors. Like we can make them.
And
we
there
can make
can-
some like little.
Well, so the episodes of the floors is probably going to be largely determined on the players. But how
Yes.
big you can usually assume.
But we can also adjust floor size
Yes.
a little bit, just to
And-
make things like some people can only come in for.
When it comes to D&D Legends, there's always pocket dimensions.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, for stuff like that, we can work around it. But in terms of day to day, like we will have a set group for each floor.
Yeah, so if it starts at the
happens so
beginning of December, like basically, I think. No, I'll have a hard enough time getting
is
in
you.
regularly because conventions
this
for
is
me,
me.
I'm gone on Sundays, which is why the
I was
Deadliest
going to say,
Dungeon.
I think you're a guest character.
Oh, 100%
Yeah.
character. Yeah.
Just as I am too. I would
Yep.
be filling in any gaps or coming in as a guest at certain times.
But it's okay because I'm working on my Tommy and Devin impressions, so you won't even know they're gone.
Well, my impression's easy. Just don't die in the dungeon.
Exactly. Yeah. What's that? What's that? Take damage? I forgot. I need to leave for a reason.
Mine's also easy. Just say everything's about a stiff breeze away from dying,
That's right. That's right.
even if they're only at 2 damage.
It's a stiff breeze.
Uh,
Stiff is a very vague word.
I'm
really
very
is.
excited.
Ooh,
These two are
done.
just having.
Done this so much this year.
Oh, you
Don't
guys
worry
are
about
talking
it.
to each
Yeah,
other.
yeah, they're
Obviously,
We listen to you guys, get an idea, and are like, I have to
we're
write
trying
this
to,
down,
like,
and
I
I
type
thought
it
you could
down
do
as
that stuff
fast
with
as
just your eyes,
possible.
though. Why are you writing it down? They just go.
No.
"Oh, it's good."
I wish it was that easy.
we can
Morse
do that,
code
and then
blink
our
to each other.
ADHD brains collectively will forget it in 20 minutes.
Yeah.
exactly.
Flat.
That's why we're texting it to each other so that we can look back at it later.
Obviously, I am not in any way trying to read them, but I've seen little glimpses of how long this conversation has grown just while we were talking. Yeah, they're having their own little moment.
Oh yeah. This is why I'm so excited because this will also I think you can agree because you were there when we were talking about it. Like, this is such a unique idea to put it
Bring
out this
to-
way
I'm
as
stoked.
a Deadliest Dungeon. Is that here's this really broad idea, but there's
So much you can do within it.
So many things.
I'm stoked and boked.
Okay.
What does boked mean? Up to you. But I'm not yoked. I'm not Tyrannosaurus Rex.
Oh, I'm trying to swallow his whack. Yeah, that guy's amazing.
I am
Put
curious
that guy in
though.
the
Great.
Timeless Tales.
Anyone who wants to influence the character that I am playing,
Oh yeah.
Discord.
Put ideas in the Discord.
Don't
Yeah.
message me on Discord. Don't DM me.
Make it a
only
Marian.
because I get way too many DMs. I very likely will miss it. But toss it in the Deadliest Dungeon chat, whatever. I will at some point soon create role-playing channels for them. So.
I'm gonna ask this out loud.
Ooh.
But I don't know if we want to reveal us as what we'll be playing.
Oh no.
No. keep that secret.
No,
Oh,
wait.
wait. Oh, yeah, because
we-
you guys are playing in each other's games.
No.
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 They've got
No.
BBEGs. Like I had
We have
Tharius.
BBEGs planned.
They've got
that are
Yes.
us.
Oh.
Like I was Melvin the
I think
Magnificent
the
in season
theme
3.
will become apparent through the first floor, and if not the first floor, into the second floor, you'll
Absolutely, the
immediately
third
be
floor,
like,
you'll
oh, I know
okay,
what's going
yeah,
on.
this is going on.
The overarching who we are and what we're doing.
That'll be revealed almost
yeah,
instantly
that'll be
for
slow.
each of us. It's kind of like you'll get what our characters are right
Yeah,
away.
you'll get some our
just
costuming.
off of visuals and obviously introductions of our characters.
And if you
when
know
we get
Imarian
in
lore,
there.
you know Imarian lore, and if you don't, you don't.
And if you don't, then Read it. Read it.
Buy the
Read
book.
it, actually. Yeah,
Buy the book.
Join the Patreon.
I was going to say.
Buy the book.
Was there an update on the Kickstarter?
we're also going a little niche,
with a sample.
Yes.
Yes and no.
I didn't even know that
Yes
happened.
and no.
I didn't know that happened. All these people are commenting about it in the Discord and stuff like that, and freaking out. I'm just like, I'm scrolling through the Discord. I'm like, where's the sample? And I don't
on
know
the-
what's going on.
The Kickstarter. The Kickstarter had an
No
update,
idea that went down.
with examples of the layout that Josh has been working on.
Is it good?
Yeah, I think we need to like drop hints about like the overarching thing. We'll be like putting that in, but that's more of a long term. That's more of a long term of why this exists in this world.
So is this book going to be biblical?
I certainly hope so.
The whole time he was writing the Mario book, he's like, this
right.
book's going to be biblical.
So no, what happened was we came up with the idea for Legacy of Worlds, which if you don't know is a bunch of heroes of D&D going to all the published worlds of D&D. So to prep for that, I had to read about all the published worlds of D&D. I had to read all about Toril, all about Greyhawk, all about Mystara, all about Athos and Brit. I had to read all the source books that have been published over the last 50 years. And by the end of it, I was telling Tommy, I was like, I have now read about 8 different settings. When I go back to Imaria, it's going to be biblical.
And he kept saying that, so I'm just curious. Is the book biblical now?
I think it's pretty close.
And yes, Racer, hashtag blame Josh.
Yeah. He's kicking butt. Josh is doing really well.
Yeah.
He's probably going to have to put
yeah,
a
thank you all for your very kind words on the Discord talking
Absolutely,
about how much
yeah.
you've enjoyed the little preview that we gave you.
which I have yet to see.
Apparently.
And feel free to throw in really mean words in Deadliest Dungeon about Devin, because, you know, now that he's
You
going
mean the most benevolent DM ever?
That's right. Yeah, he's way too soft.
Couldn't kill a
Did
character if he
hear
rolled for it.
our names
What?
for our DMing? I don't think you were in the stream at that
Witch
point.
Whisperer or Whisper Witch?
That was her.
Wither Witch.
Wither Witch and
Doomsayer.
Doomsayer. Nice. Oh, that's pretty gross.
I mean, look. For those of you who saw the last episode of Deadliest Dungeon, I was trying real hard.
It's true.
I said, Austin's a cockroach. He
Austin
will
was...
not go down.
Having had Dobrik play in my test game, yeah.
He is durable.
Is he playing in
Fortunately,
Deadliest
Dobrik, not
as
Dobrik.
No, but he's playing in the new one.
Austin
He will
Yes,
be playing in
he's
the new
gonna
one.
do
Just
one
no
of
more
our-
Dobrik.
So far, it's just Austin and I are the only two, like,
Which is
confirmed.
why we've got
Yeah,
to.
we've reached out to a few other people.
And one of you are playing opposite, right?
Nope.
No,
No, you're not
we've
playing?
decided
We're switching per floor.
we're switching for a floor, but we've decided that playing in each other's floor would be confusing.
Constantly playing in each
Consistently
other's floor.
playing in each other's
would be
floor
really confusing. Maybe the odd time
so
if we absolutely need
One
a
of them is
player.
going to be Sky Voice.
Yeah.
Oh, so you'll always be here at least.
One of them...
Yeah.
We'll be here. We'll also be planning our own next floor.
I mean,
just
is
to be
it
able
really
to
wrong to have the two of them sit in the DM together? That you,
Okay, I was thinking that for like a special like mini floor if we do like the.
because you two would
I don't
be
know if you
great
saw
side
my
by side.
message earlier.
I'm not certain.
We'll put a pin in that. But I do hope that whichever of you is not DMing at the time is continuously telling the other one to be more deadly. Because we got
Crank it
off
up.
the hook.
Crank it up.
We got off the hook way too many times.
So one of the ways we did, and one of the ways to make dying in the game fun, which I really
Which I think is a bit
want,
of ways off. but-
which I really want to bring back, which we kind of did sometimes in Kyle's game, was that when the death happened, it was celebrated. We had the bell go off.
Yeah.
He had the bell thing goes ding. We had the die roll on the cam. Everybody was screaming and freaking out, and the tradition of the player leaving the table was awesome.
Yeah.
That was great.
That was
started
because you
doing
could
the-
hear them in the background being
Yeah.
like blah 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 blah. It's like
was-
you're dead. Be quiet. It's
That's
like,
what makes when you were talking about when you rolled that at 20, you grabbed the camera. You were the only one at the table at the time.
Yeah.
As you can hear when you grab the camera, you hear Austin way off, just
Yeah.
on off camera. He's like, oh boy, the tech's really gonna love that.
Yeah, but what was cool about that is the three of them were sitting there, and
Yeah,
they
they were
were
watching.
they were like trying to get me to win it. They were like, "Come on!" They were like yelling suggestions.
Sam was usually first to die, so he would go back to the tech area and he'd be watching chat.
Yep.
And he would be just like coming back afterwards. He's like,
No.
wow,
To-
they were very happy
To
about.
be clear, the first thing he would do is come and crack a beer if there were any.
That's right.
It's true.
Then he would watch chat with me. So it's a little harder with D-Force because you're not gone for very long, but I like the idea of leaving.
I thought it was a really cool
One thing I do want to encourage people more in all of our games, but especially in Deadliest Dungeon, is when you're like unconscious or otherwise, like you're out, just let the rest of the team do their thing. Don't metagame. Don't do all that.
That's why
stuff.
leaving the table was good.
It was, yeah.
Lauding.
So that is an option. We can certainly make that happen.
Although it was funny in season 1 when Sam just went.
Oh yeah, he
For
laid there
half an
dead
hour.
for a half an hour. Like just
Yeah, what was the
Oh
Avernus
my
episode
God.
where Phineas was asleep for like
It-
3/4
I
of
think
it?
you
something like
actually
that,
fell
yeah.
asleep.
Almost. It was real close.
Yeah.
Yeah.
good.
So, but yeah, leaving the table is an option. We can probably sort that out.
We can play around with it.
For sure.
But yeah, things and stuff.
Things, yeah, for sure.
The first thing to be figured out will definitely be the players, because
Yes.
Yes.
we.
Because
I mean, hey,
we'll need to know the players and then
I'll
know
run
their
a
characters,
two-person
and
Deadliest
then
Dungeon.
But always,
we'll be fine.
always leading up to this event.
Hashtag Laud Josh. Doesn't have quite the same ring to it, but it's
Josh,
probably more
blame
realistic.
Josh. Yeah.
Always leading up to, obviously, like, as we're looking for players, like we've said a few times, just solidifying it more. We will be here.
Yeah.
And
Oh, yeah,
we will be
yeah, yeah.
We'll be
doing,
doing
we will be
things,
doing stuff
chatting.
here.
Well, we've got the player
Talkiest
pool. We just
dungeon.
need to get them to commit
Yep.
to it.
Yeah.
Yep.
yeah.
We're reaching
And-
out. We're talking to people.
And get those tasers installed so that when they miss an episode, it's
The tasers installed?
just leave it there. Just it's behind the scenes. It's how we
Yeah,
do
whenever,
everything.
whenever you don't kill a player, you get tased.
Oh, whoa now.
And whenever a player dies, they get tased.
It's a great way to create a Pavlovian response.
Jeez.
Gag the dead or unconscious player. I like that.
Oh
Wow.
Yeah. No, so I want ideas, not now, but I want ideas for what I should play. Because
Make it a Marion.
I do want it to be, I want it to be magical.
Oh yeah? I was gonna say I would love to see a proper Aeon Sage or a sound assist in the Deadliest Dungeon. We
Yeah?
haven't seen those
You
yet.
mean one that isn't Gambit?
I would also like to see a Weave Breaker. How Weave Breakers deal in
Yeah, it
Deadliest
worked
Dungeon.
so well. It was great.
What?
I played a Weave Breaker in
Yeah,
yours.
you did great. Oh, well, no you didn't. But that's also because I'm a bastard.
Yeah.
I gave you a Renix sword. It cost you your life.
That's right.
But you got one.
I would lean towards something somewhat glass cannon-y, just because I think that
Sound assist.
Sorry?
Silences.
Sound assist.
No, they're not best cannons.
Well, you can make anything.
You can
do
glass
it,
cannon.
yeah.
Just do what Sam does. Dump Constitution.
So it's not that I specifically want them to be like deliberately fragile. It's just I like the idea of death being right around the corner at all times.
Play a Dreamwalker Aeon Sage.
Oh my God, that would be amazing.
we go.
So here's the thing. I think that the deaths should be. I'm going back to the celebration of the deaths.
Yeah.
If the deaths should be celebrated Rick and Morty style, like it should be really funny, and so dying in the game should be almost humorous. And as a player who knows they're going to get smoked this turn, they should really ham it up, and that's what makes it funny. It's almost like Purple Worm Kill Kill.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
With Beetle and Grimm that Matt Lillard runs. It's not too far off of what the concept of Deadliest Dungeon is. It's a different characters get smoked, and the concept of Purple Worm Kill Kill, if you've ever heard of it, is the characters are level 1, fully built out like level 1 characters, who encounter a purple worm. And it's not a matter of surviving; it's a matter of you're dying. But how funny is it going to be? Trying to see these level 1 characters take on a purple worm. And there's all kinds of role-playing and development and dungeon crawl to the point where they get to the purple worm. But whenever the purple worm arrives, it's basically 4 rounds for the purple worm, depending on how it kills the characters. But it's just creative ways for the characters to die. And the show ends when all the characters are dead. There is no way out. And by dead meaning in a humorous, funny way. It's not this dark, grim, 10 candles stuff or dread. It's just like, bam, game over.
A great example is in season 3 when Wraith, the king whose strength never wanes, turns Dovrik into a donut. Because
He was
Austin,
so
Austin was
happy.
going around round table 2 days later telling everybody. It's like,
you got
He was
to-
like, I
became-
got turned into a circle.
I got turned into a circle.
I became
on
a
Sunday.
circle. He was so happy.
Big Red, who was the audience member who had created that boss, flooded the chat with all kinds of gifs of people getting bent in half.
It was great. And Adam was having a great time with it
and also
too.
went into very visceral detail of what actually would happen if you did that to someone.
Sure.
Jesus.
Oh, but Austin
it was a very
so
good
proud
time.
to be a circle.
That was the celebration that you're talking about.
A magician with psionics sounds right around the right sort of area.
Can you do magician with psionics?
You can.
It's a bit of a non though. It's like a paladin monk.
A little bit.
It's a punk.
It's in the right sort of realm.
You would be a very good glass cannon. Let's put it that way. You.
Yeah, you would be.
So yeah, for celebrations, we should figure that out. Who's allergic to citrus? Can we have everybody have to eat a lemon wedge when they die?
Just do a
Oh,
shot of
that'd be
tequila.
really funny.
That might
my God.
violate some.
Ooh.
Thok would be drunk.
Yeah.
Come on now.
having to.
I really
bite
enjoy
a
breaking into
lemon.
song every time I killed somebody.
Yeah, I know you do.
That was very.
Yeah,
That was,
you really did enjoy that, didn't you?
Get those like
Suddenly,
really
actually.
sour candies.
I
Well, I was
enjoyed the
thinking
songs.
candies, but I'm like, that's calories if anybody cares about the calories or anything. But like a lemon wedge,
A lemon wedge is just a
there's
lemon
no calories.
wedge, that's
That's,
true.
just citrus.
Just a
You have
bowl
to
of
take the
lemons in the
peel.
middle of the
Yeah.
table.
Adds a pop of color.
Right into the eye.
Right into the eye.
Oh no. Ugh.
We could.
Tommy
we could
did have. He had a flintlock Nerf pistol that
Yes,
he
I
would shoot
did.
people when they.
Yep. Yep.
I did. In my game, I shoot people. Just plunk,
I
plunk.
would love to do an actual gong. I just don't know.
I have one.
Oh, you have one.
I have a little gong. It's at the Albion. I can bring it. It's from 1902. It's a
Yeah.
cute little brass gong. We just hear a gong.
As long as
sits right here.
as long as we set it up in a way that nobody's gonna damage.
The gong would be
Put a
great.
microphone right up to it.
Oh, Mike.
Call it the gong show.
Headphone users watch out.
Trust me, you don't want the mic anywhere near it.
That's a great one, Racer.
Smoke
Have a
machine
smoke
under
machine
each player.
that when the smoke comes out, then the player leaves.
I love that so
Under the
much.
table, they're
The
just like
downside is that the whole
crawling
place will
around to
look
get
like
out.
it's in a smoke haze for the rest of the show.
I do love that. That
I
is
actually love that so
that is
much.
That would be
completely
pretty funny.
impractical, but I love that.
In Cthulhu back in the day,
Yeah.
when the character died, you had their section gray out.
Yeah.
And it became black and white.
Yeah.
That was cool.
Yeah, we could.
That
That's
was a-
pretty cool.
that
I
was
was gonna say you can also
interesting
just shut off the light that shines on that.
That doesn't work.
area.
We actually tried that in Cthulhu and it didn't work.
If you want to go for the really silly thing, instead of smoke and having the haze, just like a confetti popper, and then you watch them just duck
So I
out.
was thinking with confetti poppers, it's just we have to clean it up afterwards.
Yeah, that's the only thing is like it's. It
I
gets
can do
everywhere.
an on-screen confetti popper.
Yeah.
Okay.
CGI.
Could we get? I'm sure you can buy them cheap at this point because it's post-Halloween. Like human-sized skeletons, right?
Yeah.
The plastic skeletons.
Oh,
When they die,
costume
put a piece of the costume on it and have them sit there with the skeletons.
Oh, that'd be so good.
I want that.
I'm gonna go look for the skeletons.
So the only problem with that stuff is
Oh my God, yes.
So Sam used to put this there.
In memoriam.
In memoriam. George thought, oh, that's out of date.
so
Very out of date.
So one thing we could do is gravestones.
Yeah,
'Cause that would be
well,
easy.
this, exactly this, and then
Yeah.
not
Oh,
exactly.
Oh, wait, you're
this,
talking
but
about something you put on
yeah.
the table? That's like a great
Like
R.I.P.
laser cutting a gravestone would
That'd be
be
cool, too.
fairly straightforward, and it would be because
Beast says turn your chair
Yeah.
around. So they,
right.
You're just back.
You're just sitting here and you're just like,
I mean,
You try to make a comment and somebody shushes you.
it's not bad. It's not a bad idea.
Oh yeah, this is very practical.
Well, so this is the thing, right? Like we need to remember.
Think about what you've done.
visually,
this
this
on
is really
stream.
funny.
We need to remember.
Then put two googly.
People,
Put the skeleton on his back.
Yeah, just put the,
people may only be gone for one round.
Yes.
So
Yeah.
whatever we're doing needs to be like
Quick change.
quick
people.
change. So like something like gravestone, you could just set it in front,
In front of you.
and then set it aside. That's very quick. Leaving the table, maybe for 4 rounds, yes. For 1 round, but we're not gonna know. He's gonna know. Sorry, she's gonna know.
I do want to say one thing I did do in season
We're
2
gonna
was during the Floor Guardians there was no roll a d4 to come back.
said she.
If you died during the Floor Guardian, you were now gone for that encounter.
that's right.
So
Yeah.
that was the only way we could technically get a full TPK was on the Floor Guardian
Well,
encounter.
yeah.
And that's because if Tharius drained you all in his fight, he won.
So in fairness, going away for 1 round seems like it's a short period of time, but some of these fights, a full round is
Some of
like
them
an
do last.
hour.
Yeah.
So leaving is fine. Right?
Well, yeah. So my only real concern with that is like muting and unmuting mics and everything else.
Yeah.
Like it's not. We can
you
do
just
it.
do this.
That's a terrible idea. That is so loud for the viewers.
Is it?
Yeah. You
Look
just
what you
blew
just
out
done.
everybody's ears.
Everybody's eardrums are gone.
Yeah.
He can't even plug it back in.
Yeah, didn't you see what happened in that one short where put it in and
That
caused
short
everything
is
to
so
explode?
funny.
Like muting is not actually that hard or anything. It's just
Remembering
we need to
to do
remember to do it. We need to do. People when they're standing up need to not like knock shit over and everything else. Like
Well, the
it's,
studio is not like it used to be.
it's not. It's
Remember
not.
that first studio?
Oh, yeah. But like,
Everybody had to get up and move for a person to get out at the end of the
Yeah,
table to go
yeah.
to the bathroom.
but like, people need to not trip over cords and everything else. That's good to know. It just we can do it. It's just we need to think about it, and we need to think about whether that's the right thing to do.
Yep.
It's not a bad idea. It was great when we did it, especially as the table emptied out. Was amazing.
Visually, it was striking.
Yes. So I mean, I'm up for it. We just need to
Skeletons
make
would
sure
be
we figure it
hilarious.
out.
I
Skeletons would
genuinely,
be so
I genuinely
funny.
think that while the skeletons
the
or whatever are funny,
Skeletons would be amazing.
I do think that the
too much.
visual of just people slowly whittling away on the table does add to the sort of like thematic of like hopelessness and of the deadliness of it.
I'm looking up the skeletons.
I-
just to see.
He's like, I just want to see how
I
much they
mean,
are.
fair enough. And hey,
I'm sure Beskar bought us a few.
we can probably manage it. It's
So
just
you could put Gambit's hat on the
like
skeleton. and just-
getting a skeleton into your seat and everything. Like that's gonna take a while. But at the very least, leaving your seat and putting up a gravestone or something.
The gravestones are cool too.
The only reason I say the gravestone.
Sitting on it.
Yeah, something.
could.
The only reason I'm sort of caught up on something like that is because we did get the question back in the day of people who like just came in. They're like, "Why is that seat empty?" If there's like a visual, like pretty clearly this person's dead.
Could we not just put a like he was saying, like graying out that area, but like we could just make an overlay thing that fades in. You just press a button and it just
Yeah.
fades over top of them, like RIP or something.
Yeah.
That's quick and easy. It's like in
best
chiller font.
Best card that says, "Thanks, Tommy. It's not like my eardrums are needed."
Yeah. I looked. Okay, so a little bit of technical stuff. I looked at a mute switch that you can just put in between
Oh, sick.
Your
the XLR and this.
Yeah.
$90 fucking a piece.
Why?
That's insane.
Turns out there's actually a lot of issues with trying to sever cleanly an XLR connection.
That actually kind of makes sense.
It's in a mixer. It's really easy because it just stops sending that
Yeah, it
signal.
just
but
doesn't signal.
Yeah. Or
actually draining
physically-
the electrons from the wire in a way that does not cause any audio interference is apparently kind of annoying.
I could see that, yeah.
Or
That makes
because we have the stream decks, you could always
Well,
put a mute button on
so
there.
this is the
Yeah,
thing.
if we want like
for us to
a
unplug.
It's
What
good price for a
he's saying is that
skeleton.
it is for more
What do you mean by good price?
intuitive to
$65.
while you're there to just flip the switch and pull
It
it.
would, like I could.
Whereas if it's a
I could
button you have to press, you
screw
might forget
a
to press the
mic
button.
mute to the table, not literally screw into the table, but like I could attach it to the table, and then you could just be like, mute.
I always
And you
worry
would
about
know.
$65 for a skeleton, I'd pay that. And look, it's a 5'5" skeleton.
Scissors
I
are
would pay
a lot
that.
cheaper.
I would pay that. So Sis was that?
Scissors are a lot cheaper, says generic.
So just putting a skeleton. Oh, scissors would be cheaper.
Yeah.
It would be quicker. I don't know if it'd be cheaper.
Yeah, not really.
But the 5-foot skeleton or 6-foot skeleton basically just set it there. I don't know. I think when a character dies,
slide under
if
the table.
the
Something
game if the game
visually.
halts for a second and everybody talks about it and has fun with it and makes it a big deal.
Why don't we just make a terrible skeleton in like MS Paint and just like paste it in front of the person on screen?
We totally can. There's things we can do on screen. I'm a
Or
huge
a really
fan of
bad like
physical
3D
props.
one.
I love the idea of the skeletons because then, like I said,
You can interact with
it.
them.
Just becomes and then like you know like I
your
would, if
hat
I was
off
there
and-
and I turned over to the skeleton, I could just grab the hand and be like, I
Exactly.
would like to.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
I
Oh,
think
shut up, Louis.
And if it falls over, it falls over. It's funny. Like, I think it's a gag.
adds that hilarity to death.
I like physical
I would
props.
totally
There's-
invest in buying those skeletons.
There's a reason that, like, for the Wednesday game, and I'm going to insist on the same thing for Deadliest Dungeon, the new series, like, there's a reason that I want everything to be physically on screen.
Agreed.
As much as is reasonable.
Absolutely.
And something like that, like putting a skeleton or an RIP on screen, sure, we can do that. Having a physical prop, whether it's a skeleton, whether it's a tiny skeleton sitting on a gravestone, whatever it is,
Yeah.
Even just a
you
little
can,
one.
You can interact with it. You can
Sit 'em on
talk
the
to it.
table.
It's just better.
Like a tiny one, like
Buying the
mini.
skeletons.
Yeah.
Tommy's like, screw
I
it.
was
Hey
going-
man,
yeah.
fair enough. I'm not going
Thank
to
you,
complain.
best car for the skeleton.
Yes, thank you.
And B and Richter and
Me,
everybody
Richter, literally everyone.
else. Yeah, so I like physical props. It's always better. Always
It's fun. The interaction's always
It's-
a delight.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The closer we can make what we're experiencing in the room to not reality, but like
That's actually even better. Just put the head on.
So if the person gets decapitated, you can take the head off and just leave the rib cage on the chair.
whether 'tis noble.
Yes.
It looks like they had Gambit anyway. Look at how the way this one's sitting. It's basically Gambit. Oh yes, of course. I have tenure, you know.
Yeah. Physical props are always better. And it's better for us, immersion. Like, immersion is something that I'm going to be pushing harder and harder for. The more immersive it is for us at the table. Like, that's one of the reasons why, even it's stuff as simple as I want to get those panels off the floor and up, because it just opens the space up a little bit more. It feels a little bit nicer. Just everything we can do to make everything more immersive for us playing at the table is a win.
Speaking of which, lighting and sound effects, we're going to have to talk that because we're going to need some specific things.
Well, I know a guy who can
A
help.
few. Yes.
What?
So-
No way.
It's not Larry, but
Where is it?
Yeah, because
yeah, for sure. Does the Banshee also collect souls from allies? I mean, look, Phineas's first thought when he entered the Deadliest Dungeon was, what the hell are teammates? I thought this was the Deadliest Dungeon.
Yeah,
So,
it really was. And then he was
I'm-
like, "Oh, I have friends now."
yeah, that's the only reason he was okay with it. But it was because it was like, oh, friends that don't want my soul in bargain for things. Interesting.
What are you talking about? I'm your best friend.
Absolutely. Beatrice was very much
He kinda
Phineas's
was.
best friend. Very much became that, at any rate, yeah. Yeah. So, I don't think friendly fire is completely out of the question for Deadliest Dungeon.
Not at all.
Not that we should lean into it, but I don't think it's out of the question.
I mean,
you have bigger
Jaldrat's-
problems, but like you can.
Jaldrat slapped Gambit across the face once. Did a few points of damage.
Yep.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
We won't stop you from PvP.
I mean, tripping your friend as you're running away so that they're slower than you.
You don't have to run faster than a bear,
Exactly.
just faster than your buddy.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
The same thing applies with dragons. It's just you need to be less tasty than your friend.
Yeah.
Less inviting of a target.
Yeah, that's why I always subtly, whenever I clap somebody on the back, I always subtly put bear grease on them. Do I mean in D&D or reality? That's for you to decide. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I think that pretty much overall covers our thoughts on the last the last 3 seasons, give or take.
For this
I think,
week, at least.
For this week, anyway. If we think of more things next time, we will. And a little bit of a taste as to what might be coming up. Obviously,
What
we'll
might
have
be
more
brewing.
details as we go. And I think next week, I probably will not be in this chair. I think I'll put
Yeah.
two
No,
here.
we'll just hang out there.
You'll hang out here. And
I would love to see if we can get, I mean, next week is probably, well, we'll see. I would love to get the actual full party for the first floor.
That'd be nice.
Next week.
That would be
Yeah.
great.
Not that you two aren't welcome. It's
I'll
just
tune in from
Yeah, you
Philly.
will be here anyways. Yeah. Somebody needs to lack empathy when casting AOE spells. Yeah, way too many people put way too much effort into not hitting their teammates with AOE. I'm like, you shouldn't be in the way of my spell. What are you doing?
I didn't ask how big
Get
the
out of the
room
way of my
was.
spell. Hold on now.
I didn't ask how big the room was. I said I cast Fireball.
Exactly.
Like,
Exactly. Oh, you might hit Dover. Yeah, I might also hit everybody else.
Yeah, Dover can handle it.
Dover doesn't care if you hit him with an AoE.
Or especially not with fire because
Neither does
he's
Jaldrat.
immune to fire. Well, Jaldrat
right.
welcomes it.
There's only Gambit or Keymaster who'd have a problem.
No, when I hit level 7 it was fine. I got
Oh yeah.
Sharing is caring, even with damage. That's right. All right. I think we'll wrap up there. We will be here next Sunday, and we'll be here most of us,
And
some
I mean,
of us,
feel
will
free to
be
keep the conversation going on the Discord.
100%.
Absolutely.
I am going to, now that I have actually, I did not create the channels last Wednesday when I said I might, because I spent some time thinking about what the channels should be. I will likely create the channels this evening for both Deadliest Dungeon and, at least the first round of channels for Deadliest Dungeon and the Wednesday game. I should get those done.
For discussionary channels, right? Not the role-playing channels?
The out-of-character channels, I'm not going to
Yeah.
create the role-playing channels
discussionary.
yet.
Okay.
So with
Thank
that,
you all for
Thank you.
becoming a member again and or throwing those
Thank
little
you
bits.
for the little bits of
we appreciate
donations
all the support
and
and all of the
subscriptions.
watching.
Yeah.
Views, man, the views. The views.
Stay tuned. Stay tuned for the
Yes.
release of Strands of Destiny.
Discord
Yes.
link.
Discord link should be in the description.
Nope, it's
We should
expired.
put it down
It's
in.
expired.
Oh, is it?
Oh.
Let
You
me-
can
this
do
is
a
news to me.
non-expiry
You can do it forever
one
now.
That's a lie.
Oh yeah, it is a lie.
It
It
is.
resets
changed it.
itself and it
These
sucks.
guys
It sucks. Let me get the
Kidding.
link right now because I
Tom's gonna drop the link in chat, but
Join the
just
Discord.
stick around if you need it. We're still gonna wrap up the stream though, but you can chat in the chat.
there it is. I think.
But yeah,
See if
check
that
out.
works.
You can check out the description for everything else.
Yes.
Yes.
Including the Patreon, which you should
book.
100%
The
take a look
book.
at.
The book.
The Kickstarter.
All right. Thanks so